Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Plebcast. My name is Miles David, your host, and joining me are finally we have two analysts now joining us again, TDS and Slayer. How are you guys doing?
Alive.
How about
I'm
you,
back.
TDS? Yeah, you're
I'm
back.
back.
It's nice to have you
Compa-
He's
back.
also alive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
We
yeah,
thought he
exactly.
died.
Like
we're
I had some things to take care of with things to take care of,
Yeah.
so everything working out pretty nicely.
Cool.
all right. That's good. That's good. Speaking of things working out nicely, do you guys think the same for MSI since that's gonna be our
No,
topic today?
No.
Damn, straight up already. All right, guys. Thoughts on the group stages so far. Then
Well,
anyone can go first.
I mean,
hmm.
went exactly as I expected.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not exactly as I expected because I did not expect PSG to come out of the group, but they did.
Yeah, they did 3-3. You wanted Red Cannons out, right?
No, I said Istanbul Wildcats, but they disappointed me
Oh yeah,
because I didn't.
fair enough.
I thought they didn't play up to expectations.
I see.
I didn't.
I
I,
see.
I actually think they didn't play their best. It's kind of weird, but yeah.
I did not. I did not watch any of the Istanbul Wildcat game. Why don't you enlighten us, Slayer, on why you think they were a big disappointment?
Well, I think honestly, I think they came underprepared
Mm-hmm.
because every team that they played against banned 3 ADCs in the first ban phase.
True.
Because Holy Phoenix is the best player. And
Yeah.
it's as a player, you'd be really flattered. Like, yeah, they banned 3 champions for me. I'm flattered. But the team had no idea what to do. Because that's what they did all the time.
Yep. And I actually want to add to that because since they always banned through the 80 pool, and for some reason, or not for some reason, but most the games that I was able to watch from Istanbul Wildcats in the MSI, for some reason they always end up with Jin. Like with your carry player, you always end up with Jin. And I can understand if you want to facilitate for someone else, but to add to the point, like if you're playing through your 80 carry and then you're always defaulting into Jin, which it's no longer a hyper carry, then
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to execute, especially if you don't really play around that. And I understand that the 80 pool, I think, probably is lesser compared to where it was previously right now in the MSI meta. But I think that you have to at least then opt into more alternatives to hyper carries 80 carry because if not, you're losing a strength.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like at this point you go down the AD carry tier list. We have like we see a lot of Kaisa, we see a lot of
No,
Aphelios.
honestly, what I'll say is, I think Istanbul Wildcat showed some signs, but especially the coaching staff had no idea how to counteract 3 ADC bans. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Like,
Istanbul Wildcat's not prepared
nah,
for
yeah, because
I guess
because I thought Saren played pretty well,
yeah.
and Ferret tried,
Mm-hmm.
but that bot lane, like they were completely not prepared. That they every time 3 ADC bans, yeah, let's go, right? And yeah,
Fair enough. Fair
And-
enough.
Also, I was actually like, also I was actually disappointed with Ferret. I feel like his playing was like not that competitive for a jungler that you expect coming into
Yeah.
MSI. Like even I think he was probably the weakest jungler in the whole MSI group stage.
no, he wasn't.
I actually think he was the
I
weakest.
don't
Like
think so.
I honestly like I'm not sure who you think was the worst, but
Well-
I actually like Dimitri
No.
quite a lot from Ace.
No,
I
think
liked a lot the other. Okay,
I think this might be a bit controversial, but I think the worst jungler might have been Juhan.
from PSG.
Yeah. Not impressed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
think he did
Okay,
anything.
actually, I can get behind that one because because I was thinking from the other groups, like there was the other 1 and 5s and all that, but I really like Dimitri from Ace.
Kevin
I
tried.
really like
Kevin from
I
Order
really
tried.
I really like From Order as well, and it seems apparently like I just watched it on Reddit, but apparently they are making a move from him from NA Academy,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it seems like
He's
it's an
going to NA.
impression. Exactly. So there was good impressions from other junglers, but from that group, like both Johan and Ferret. Now that you're bringing it up, like really disappointed in my opinion. Like I expected more out of junglers from those regions.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely for me, if you're considering worst jungler for MSI Group Stage, would be Johan, because I think it could be any other jungler at his level, and they still win the games they won. He had zero
Okay.
impact, and I'm like, what is this? Like, is PSG always going to win on the back of Kaiwing and Unified? Is that it? Is that the game?
Yeah,
Is it the game
that's
plan?
basically that's their game
basically
plan.
PSG.
That's
I mean,
the
good.
game plan.
I mean, all I'll say is good luck in Rumble.
Oh yeah, I was telling you guys actually that because I said I was going to post this in my Twitter, but I wasn't able to tell you guys. So I already have my ranking for who I think will get out of Rumble in what order.
Oh, I
And
also made a tier list for it as well, so we'll show that in a bit.
so should we wait then?
Yeah. Let's wait. Let's wait on it. Let's wait on it.
Okay,
Because there's a lot to
because
talk about.
because exactly. So like I was going to do that, but yeah, like PSG watching that, like it's not that it's necessarily bad, but I just feel like it's so numb. Like you just know exactly what to expect, and the rest of the map just is there to facilitate for the
Yeah.
bot lane, and that's about it. Like they executed better than others, but they out executed on what was in their group,
Yeah.
not necessarily out executing in the sense of actually
Yeah.
playing well. So it's
Honestly, what I'll say is, based on how the groups went and such, I think number one, order was done dirty. Because I think if they were in any other group, they would have won one game.
Yeah.
Because
it would at least not have been 0-8. I do agree.
like I think
I mean, to be fair, if we had LCL in Group B, right?
like
It's hard to say because since we didn't see anything at all, like since there was not even an ounce of knowledge about what they can do, then it's kind of hard to call it out. So it's hard to say, but it's kind of the same argument to Group A because Order probably could have done a little bit more in another group than that one, or at least in Group B. And then in Group A, you have both DFM and Saigon that were easily two of the better minor region teams that could have done much more in other groups.
Yeah, but I think Order could have won a game against DFM.
That seems fair as well. Because I don't disagree.
Yeah, I think Order could have won a game against DFM. Not Saigon, but definitely DFM. Because again, while people were saying DFM, team from the LJL, dominant, so on and so forth, all I saw from DFM was Evi.
True.
Yeah, true.
Like that was the hype.
No.
That was the hype player. No, that was the player that was in front of everyone's minds.
Yeah. Like
in everyone's minds.
I think Steel was good. Middle of the pack right there.
Decent, yeah.
Middle of the pack right there. I think Yarong tried making plays and all that. He had some bad mispositionings, but other than that, and the bot lane never showed up.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like I understand that LJL is dominant in their region, but we see all of these teams coming from their regions dominating, except for probably a handful of them. Like
I feel like DFM just got weaker after losing. After losing Arya and Gan.
No, I don't think they got weaker by losing Arya. I think they definitely got weaker with losing Gang.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because this bot lane doesn't look quite the same as they did last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will at least defend Utapon. It's hard as an ADC.
I know. I understand.
like Harp to me was the bigger problem than Utapon.
No, I don't think Harp. I just think, given that they are a new pairing, they haven't clicked. The question is, will they? Because I always, whenever there's roster changes, I always say, give it a year.
Okay.
Right? Give it a year, see if it works. Obviously, some teams give it a year, some teams don't because they're impatient. But
Yeah.
At least a split.
yeah, definitely at least a split.
Definitely at least a split.
I mean,
Well, look at Cloud9. They gave it a split.
Yeah, they gave it a split.
3
and then-
weeks.
And then just
They
started
gave
with
it 3
some-
weeks. They gave it 3 weeks.
That's it. No, but I mean the
3
roster,
weeks,
not
Ellis, you're out.
everything, not everything. The roster, I mean.
I know, I get the roster thing, but like I felt like that
The coach
entire
is part
roster
of the
was
roster.
dependent on LS.
I mean, don't you
I think-
think the coach is part of the roster?
I do. No, I think it is part of the roster, but I mean, I'm just mainly talking about the
Yeah.
players because if we're talking about the what is called
The coach.
the synergy between the team, then I mainly talk about the players. If I'm
Yeah.
talking about synergy,
Okay.
Yeah, but basically what I was saying was, you're out. Unless you're out. That's it. Like 3 weeks. That's all we did. And then, they're shipping out Summit because, well, why not?
They put Fudge back on top and got Trends.
I mean, we'll talk
I think
about.
it's a decent
I think at the end we can just touch on,
Yeah, we can talk. We can talk
the
more
roster
about
changes.
Yeah, we can touch
perfect.
on rumors and all that.
But speaking a little bit on DFM, which I think it's a point that I think is interesting. Like not only the game thing, but talking a little bit more about the mid lane. I think Arya certainly going away wasn't the main problem, but the thing is you change area for Jaharong, which is not necessarily a
I think you lose a lot of
a
firepower.
super
too.
No, you
strong-
didn't. No,
a
definitely
super strong
lose a
mid
carry.
laner.
But you see
Yeah.
that it works because you see how this empowers Evie. Because Evie now plays like the carry.
Yeah, Evie is good enough to be the carry for them to win LJL. Like,
True.
no doubt.
Yeah, like for I think for over in the overall context, I think that it makes sense in how they prepped it. The problem is that Yaharong, even though he works now as a facilitator, he's not a strong facilitator.
Yeah.
So the thing is, he doesn't stand up for himself in a way, which other facilitators do. Like they don't lose you the game, and he can then allow
Yeah.
for someone else to
Yeah,
win you.
but,
The problem is that Yaharong will lose you
Yeah.
the game.
I
That's the main problem.
I
with
think
me.
in this way, DFM can definitely improve with Steel. Like Steel has to up his game in international events. We all know that DFM is going to dominate their region,
LGL.
right? Like, it's like not even a question at this point. I think Steel
It's a thing
can.
that will happen.
Yeah, I think Steel can up his game, right? Steel can up his game and then be the second carry or the second or even someone who can pick up the slack when they need someone to, right? Because Evie's gonna always be a constant because Evie's pretty consistent. I think Utabon is very up and down based on the MSI. Obviously, we'll definitely see a better version of it probably. I mean, as I said, give it some time.
Potentially.
Yeah. But then if Yarong is doing what he does, because he facilitates a lot, he roams around quite a bit, I think he can help Steel be more aggressive and be more dominant in these games. And I think that's where DFM can look to improve, which is Steel taking more of a bigger role on the team as opposed to just being, the jungler that ganks.
Yeah. I can get behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But since we're talking about the teams that actually went out, right? I think we should talk about we should just wrap up Group A by just just handing it off to TDS and explain to us about his hometown team.
Wait, should I?
Oh, sure. You know them better than I do.
Yeah, but I don't really want to talk about them.
Why?
1-5 is not something I'm proud of, if I'm honest. But hey, maybe that's just me and my expectations.
Hey, they won a game against DFM. They're not last.
Yeah,
they were not last.
They won a game. They won a game, but they also got completely bullied out of their minds by Saigon and T1. So are you proud of winning one game and then getting destroyed?
No.
I was surprised with getting so destroyed. Like they got destroyed far harsher by Saigon than by T1. That's what I'm surprised.
No. But are you surprised that they even got to this point with Saigon and T1? Are you surprised?
No.
Exactly.
No. I'm not saying I'm surprised. Like what I'm surprised about is them getting bullied harder by Saigon. Like that's the thing. I don't know how you got bullied harder by the team that is not even a major region, but we'll leave Saigon there later on because we have to talk about them
Yeah,
with other things.
yeah.
But so with Ace, I was a little bit more expectant. Like I at least I'm glad to see
They won a
to
game.
see like they won a game, and to me, I at least can confidently say that Dimitri will not. I don't think he will stay in LA because in LAN because I think that he's one of the better parts of that roster and he can speak English. So I wouldn't be surprised if any team takes a chance on him, any academy team takes a chance on
I
him.
think Dimitri stays for this year, and then
I can see
we'll
that.
see, right?
Yeah, I can see that, but I think that he won't like if he can perform like this still consistently for the next split and reach worse. I think he doesn't stay in LAN because I think that he's the better one of the better parts of that roster. And like I'm saying, he can speak
Yeah.
English, so he's actually
He
something to
gets
take
taken
into
by
account.
FlyQuest Academy immediately.
Like Jose Diodo, like you're saying, like
Yeah.
you're making allusion to.
He
But
gets taken by FlyQuest.
No,
yeah,
but
and the thing with Ace, also another thing with Ace is that that roster, I'm not sure if it will last because there were also rumors that 5Kid is looking to potentially return to LCK, which I don't think will happen. But
I don't
if
think
that's
anyone
the
takes
case,
him
I
in
can,
LCK.
yeah, I think if that's the case, I think there's potentially a chance that he doesn't stay in LAN, like overall. Not necessarily
No,
returning to LCK, but not staying in LAN.
but when I talk about minor region teams, right? I always
Mm.
talk in projection to just this year, because I don't
Hmm.
project into next year, because I don't
Yeah.
think any minor region team, except for barring
No, but
probably the TCL, right,
yeah.
and the
Mm.
PC and the VCS, they don't they don't usually stay in house. They usually go to other regions. Like the PCS generally goes to China, and
China,
then
yeah.
uh,
TCL go to Europe. Yeah.
LLA or OC, LLA or LCO basically goes to NA because NA just
Well, in Latin America, it's interesting because yes, you do go to an A, but there's a secondary option that you can take,
You go
which is
to Brazil.
Brazil.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's another
Yeah,
option that
oh
current
yeah, I
players could
forgot
take
Brazil.
for
Brazil
getting chip.
tends to stay in house as well. But those,
And the thing is, Brazil actually like it is a minor region in LoL, but you can actually be quite well off if you go to Brazil.
yeah, because
Like
the
Yeah.
that's a
viewership
reality
number in
actually.
Brazil is insane.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is. Plus,
like even not being a player, like streaming wise,
Yeah,
that's still quite
it's
good. So
insane.
yeah, so that's an
if you're
option.
also like part of the bigger org, like a CS:GO org or a VCT org in Brazil,
Yeah,
you're pretty set. Even if you're a
yeah,
league
but
player.
I think
Yeah.
closing comments on Ace. I I expected them to be bullied, but I did not expect them to win a game. I expected them to go 0 and
Okay,
6.
fair enough.
They won a game against
So
DFM.
basically, they're not as bad as we thought they'd be.
No,
Congrats.
yeah. The thing is, they beat
Actually, they thought one more game,
they
if I'm
beat an
honest.
LJL team that was dominant in the region, and they tied records
Yeah.
with them, which speaks volumes. I think it speaks volumes because as a team from Latin America, who's every team's gone by except for the very odd Rainbow Sevens or stuff like or other teams like that, they haven't really shown up to a point that
Yeah.
they're pretty good, stuff like that. I think barring those few exceptional teams, they've actually performed better than I thought they would, and there should be a bit of optimism going for the region going into worlds, at least in play-ins. Like
Fair enough.
So to add to that, I do think I do agree that maybe I'm looking at it a little bit too harshly because I thought that they could take a second game. Like I
I don't
actually
think
thought
they
that they
could
could
take
take
a
a
second
game.
game.
I thought like going pre tournament, I thought they could take a game off of DFM and off of Saigon. If I'm honest, like I thought they could take one out of both
Yeah,
of them.
but
But yeah, like watching their form, obviously in tournament 1-5, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Like they actually like they got a win, so they perform to a certain degree. We saw some
yeah,
good faces out of some of the players. Particularly to me, I think Dimitri was the best one,
Mhm.
and I hope if I'm super honest, I actually hope that if there's any kind of roster change, they go for another Latin bot lane because I feel like like I would like for them to opt into a Latin American bot lane, because I think that 5 Kid is not the best AD carry that they could have
Yes.
brought, and there's a better potential there, because I
Yeah.
don't think that mid lane is a carry player. So if they can get an actual carry AD carry,
Yeah,
like
alone
that
is
would
not
be
that type of
great for that
player.
team.
I mean, we saw
Exactly,
Rainbow
like
Six, right? Alone is not
yeah.
really that
Yeah.
type of player.
So if they get an actual 80, like an actual carrying 80 carry, because I don't think 5Kid
Yeah.
was able to do that, I think this team could be better.
Yeah.
And that would be one of the changes that I would hope that they can achieve. But if not, like I saw some of the like the playoff series from LA Elan. I saw some of them, and I think there's another team, if I'm not wrong, it's Estral, that I am actually interested in. If they
Estrel's actually
do
taking
reach.
a step down because Mia actually left already.
Yeah, Mia left, which is sad.
yes, me.
I
He's
think their
not Mia,
bot
he's
lane
in
also
TSM.
left. I think the ADC also left.
It was B-Boy and Mia. So
Yeah.
if B-Boy and Mia left, then yeah, I think Ezreal is done. Because
Yeah.
that was the better part of
Yeah.
that roster.
Yeah, Mia got
Okay.
snapped up by TSM Academy.
Like TSM. So he
TSM
did
Academy.
win Mia essentially.
TSM Academy.
Yeah, so he is Mia.
Yeah.
He is Mia right now
Yeah.
because he went to TSM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah. And then we should talk about the remaining two teams. Let's start off with Red Canids, because this is the one team I've been impressed with. Because I thought
Yeah.
I thought they would be very competitive in that group, because I've seen the Red Canids play last year at Worlds, and I thought they had something good going, because
They
the
had
team.
some oomph.
Yeah, no, it's their teamwork. They have a mystique about them, right? They have this aura about them that they can make something happen. And then you come in and they start doing that again, but again, they're not as good as PCS. Even then, I think they shot themselves in the foot quite a bit. Like, I actually was not impressed with how their solo lanes played in some games. But I think Titan and Jojo played really well. And
So okay.
and then I forgot who the jungler was.
Aegis.
Aegis. Aegis is pretty good. Yeah.
Those two players to me are what stood out to me the most. Aegis and Titan.
Yeah.
Like Jojo was a good part of the team certainly, but Aegis and Titan to me were really good performers, and I think that if they get a little bit more experience, maybe it's a thing, because I think Aegis hasn't been too much to international tournaments. I think this is a good thing going into Worlds, which is obviously the tournament that everyone
I
cares
think
about.
this is a team. Red Cannon is a team that rides off momentum really well, and it's like, if this team catches fire, it is potentially the strongest team of in Brazil. Period. Like, yeah. So I feel they need to take up more of a step forward, because I think they can do more from Greftar and from Gigo. They can do more. They can take more from them. I don't know where that goes, but I hope they improve, because they have this edge to them that I really like.
Yeah, they got the oomph. As I said, they have the oomph.
They got the
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm actually with Red Canids, and I think always about the Brazilian teams in the same way. Like, I think they have good ideas. I think execution always fails them in a lot of instances, because I think that what they want to do doesn't always represent what they can do.
I think the problem with Brazil, is the fact that they're in such a place geographically that they cannot scrim with any of the major regions.
Yeah.
I mean, we got the same. We got the same. It's basically the same for Australia, right? OCE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can't scrim with anyone.
It's essentially the same problem. Like, I think there's the.
VCS is the same, but you see that the VCS is they're insane that they can't scrim with anyone geographically, because they're on the other side of Asia at this point.
So I'm glad that you bring BCS, because I think I would compare BCS and Brazil in the vein that they want to achieve something unique that not a lot of other places want to do.
Yeah.
But the main difference that I see is that BCS always has the mechanics to back it up.
Yes.
Brazil
Yeah.
has the plans but doesn't have the mechanics to back it up.
Yeah,
And I think that that's
Yeah.
the main that's one of the main differences, because I think that Brazil, if they had the players with the mechanics to back it up, they would be not equal to BCS, but they would be out there because they would be always playing spoiler and wildcard in
Yeah.
a lot of senses. And I think that that's the main difference. And I can see
Yeah.
Brazil reaching that point eventually. Like, I think Brazil, even though he has a huge fan base, it's kind of the same in the vein of the football, where you have the important people and all those things starting there, but it took them a little bit of time before they finally got that group of players that started everything going.
Yeah.
So they need that one player that starts everything going, and I think that's going to be achieved eventually. Like, it takes a little bit of time. I would expect that if they continues, I think by the next two worlds, I would think Brazil will be up there much more. Like, I think Brazil will be much better in 2 worlds time.
I actually think, based on what I've seen from the VCS, we could say the same thing. I think VCS, depending on how the rest of MSI goes, could be in contention to be the fourth major region. Like,
I agree.
Like, it's
they could be.
like
They could be.
Well,
they have.
I'm actually like, I want to add to that, because I do agree that I think they can. The only problem that I see, it's not on the overall aspect of the game, but on Riot, because I'm not sure if Riot would actually do
Agreed.
it. Because there's
Yeah.
2 major regions on Asia and 2 major regions on West. So I don't think they're going to get 3 for Asia and 1 for West.
I think it might slowly get to a point where Riot has to allow 3 teams from the VCS.
Okay, yeah, I would say that.
It might
Instead
be
of
that.
PCS, because PCS has 3, right?
No, PCS has 2.
Two. PCS has two. They're
Wait,
they're the
PCS
same.
doesn't send 3?
No, PCS
No, they
has
don't.
2.
Listen to
Okay, then yeah,
No,
I
but
think.
but I think that
I guess I do agree.
if VCS,
There'll be fucking NA sending
No.
too soon.
No,
If
no,
PCS
no, no,
keep going
no.
like this.
I think they might start expanding the amount of teams that VCS and PCS sends, but VCS might get to a point where you have to be like, NA has 3 teams, but VCS has more. VCS is trying to get the amount of teams that NA does because VCS is just outperforming them.
Also, the player base in Vietnam as well.
No, it's not just that. It's like VCS is, we didn't see them for a good amount of tournaments for the last.
They were storing their power. They were just
I think
but-
3 in a row, actually.
Huh? 3. Yeah.
I think 3 in a row.
And then even before that, they were actually showing signs of, they're actually really good.
Yeah.
Like, they're actually really good. They're getting to a point that, okay, they can threaten, the 4
They're
pillars.
threatening the status quo.
They're threatening the status. Yeah, and then everyone thought PCS maybe is doing it, and then PSG doesn't look as good anymore because teams leave, and then PCS kind of takes a downturn, but VCS comes back, and VCS looks insane again with their second team, not even their best team, with their second team. So you're getting to a point where they have to respect what VCS can do, and I feel like
My only question will be whether China decides to look more into trying to get BCS
I don't think
players.
they can, because Vietnamese players are very, very
Prideful of their
yes.
Okay.
It's
I don't know this. Just to ask this, because I don't know. Do Vietnam and China share a language?
no.
No.
Also,
Okay,
they-
so I think that.
I think they.
I think that's also an issue. There.
No, I think the handful of players that have come from Vietnam to,
Isn't it only SOFM?
I believe
think it's only
SOFM.
SOFM.
I don't know if there's another one, but definitely SOFM
I'm
right
pretty
now.
sure it's just SOFM.
I think just SOFM, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's just
But I don't
SOFM.
think the VCS wants to leave is because, of course, it's their hometown pride, but also I think these players get a lot of benefits just by staying there.
I think a lot of orgs are also investing into
Yeah, exactly.
Vietnam
Like
now.
I think
That's the
it's a bit
difference
like
to me
Brazil.
with PCS.
It's a bit like Brazil.
Yeah.
Like you have Team Secret investing into VCS.
Yeah.
It's a pretty
I
Pretty
think
big
teams
org.
are
Like
investing
that's the main
into
difference to me.
VCS. Yeah.
Like the main difference to me with PCS, the fact that PCS it's becoming the LPL 3, like
Yeah.
below the ESPL even, the LSPL even.
Yeah.
I think it's LSPL.
LDL, not
LDL.
LDL, not
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
LSPL used to. That's what it was used to be called, but LDL now.
yeah, the LDL. So it's even below that, in my opinion. It's
Yeah.
becoming that for the
Yeah.
PCS. Meanwhile, BCS is taking the place from the PCS in the sense that they're investing in there. You have players that care about it, and they won't actually just throw everything
Yeah.
away to go to a better team because they can create a better team there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lastly, let's talk about Order. You know, their players are gonna get sniped.
Yeah, they're getting sniped.
Racer,
in NA, right?
Koalas.
They already got sniped. So
Already got
Yeah,
sniped.
one is
What do you
already
mean?
out. Yeah, the jungler is out.
Jungler's already in NA.
KV is already gone. Wow,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
that sucks.
It took them exactly 2.5 days.
Okay. Okay. Chiefs, we'll see you at Worlds.
Yeah, it was a good run order.
Okay, Chiefs, we'll
was
see you at
fun watching
Worlds.
you playoffs.
Yep. But yeah, that's
Like
what
it took not. That was way too quickly for them to take Kevy away. Like legitimately. The thing is, I don't think
which
there's
academy did you go
other
to?
players that I would take.
Let me check.
I'm actually not sure if it's announced. I just saw NA Academy. In which case I think. Okay, no, it just says LCS Academy, so I don't think that there's an actual team mentioned.
Yeah, they didn't mention which LCS academy.
Oh, CLG is the front runner. It says
CLG.
CLG.
Yeah.
I mean,
it says
sure.
with CLG the front runner, so it's the team that it's on, that it's potentially the one that takes it. Now, I think new CLG, I'm actually not. It's actually not that bad because I think CLG Academy has been one of the better players in Academy, with better teams in Academy, and with what they are trying to do now, I can see it actually being a good choice. If it's what CLG is now trying to do management wise.
Wait, who's their? I'm trying to look at who's their academy.
Rose Thorn, I think it is.
Rose Thorn. They're replacing. I mean, I guess Rose Thorn has had.
No, I think Rose Thorn. No, I think Rose Thorn is going to the main squad.
To replace contracts, really?
They're replacing contracts?
I'm not saying they're replacing contracts. I'm saying I think Rose Thorn is going to, like, this is just a speculation. I have no information. I don't talk with anyone. I don't care about anyone.
He doesn't care,
Rose Thorn is the academy.
He doesn't care about our events.
Anyone.
Exactly. Like Rose Thorn is the academy jungler. The thing is, I think they are putting Rose Thorn in the main squad because they did it. They already tried to do this at the end of spring, and they are taking Kevy into the academy squad. What they can do as well is put Rose Thorn and Kevy together. While Kevy acclimates, gets accustomed to NA, and then they put Rose Thorn onto the main squad, which is what I think they would do, not necessarily what will happen.
Come on, man. But yeah, enough about Order.
Chiefs will see at World. Chiefs will see at World.
Chiefs will see at Worlds. But yeah, nice run Order. But Chiefs see at Worlds. Okay, so now let's talk about the teams that actually made out.
All right.
Ooh.
I mean, did we? I guess for Group A, T1 Saigon Buffalo.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised T1 got the clean sweep.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we can just say there's three teams that we 100% knew were going goal.
Yeah.
Like,
T1,
there's three
RNG,
teams that were sure.
Yeah.
Me too.
Like there's
No,
I
think
don't
there
think there
were
was
4
a
teams.
rush
I think 4 teams. Reporter, but 4
Oh
teams.
yeah, actually. Yeah. G2 and EG.
G2 and
T1
EG,
RNG,
right
G2 EG. Like that was 100% sure.
Yeah.
Then I think for Group A, Saigon obviously had, I think, the edge over DFM, but there were people that thought DFM could be doing the.
No, I think
I thought
based
DFM
on what
could be
I've heard.
better. That was me.
No, based
So
on based on what I've heard from most people or what I've seen actually over on Twitter, on all social media for that matter, there were more people backing DFM than Saigon because Saigon was the second seed from VCS. Like no one expected Saigon to do what they did.
So I think people are still like, because we need to remember that the BCS has always sent one team, right? I think it's always been present in every tournament, one team.
What?
And BCS has always kind of sent one team
Two.
from the BCS.
Two.
Is what I mean.
Two.
No, but I mean one team in the sense that the first team is super, super good, and the second one wasn't that good. Like kind of like what the PCS does with PSG being super good and that. But this time around, we see that even though they didn't send the best team, the second team took us by surprise, and I think that that's what people were expecting.
Yeah.
Like, since it's not the first team, the second team will probably not be that good,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that
Well,
was a mistake that could happen.
fucking proven wrong. Saigon Buffalo's actually pretty pog.
Yeah.
True,
Yeah. So
and they play.
I mean-
they are one of the better teams.
yeah, I mean, based on the
Certainly.
games, it's no surprise T1 and Saigon came out. I don't think we need to talk much
Yeah.
about T1 because we know what T1 are, right?
Yeah, T1. All right, they're good. All right, we
Yeah.
got it, TDS.
Yeah, we got a TDS. T1 is really good, right?
yeah.
Like I like if I legitimately don't want to talk about GT1 RNG and G2 because there's nothing to talk about. I don't think they did anything necessarily in that.
No,
I mean,
I think
RNG
G2 did one
stage.
thing. I think G2 did one
RNG
thing.
got a 9-0 out of.
No, what,
RNG got
what I
9
mean,
zeros,
like,
but true.
what I mean in the whole context is that I don't think like we need to say anything because absolutely nothing that happened in that group stage was out of our expectations apart from Riot
No,
messing up.
yeah.
Like,
It's definitely
like,
not
I'm
out of
talking-
expectations, but
yeah, I'm talking strictly about teams.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not talking about what happened outside. I'm talking
Yeah.
strictly about the teams and about about the group stage. Just
No, I
the teams
do
playing
have-
against other teams.
the-
I think there was.
I think there was one thing to
say.
say. What I was trying to say
Okay.
before Miles talked about the 9-0. It's more like the fact that G2 can come up with the troll pick and ban and still win was just a testament to show they're just messing around.
I think G2
Yeah.
is competitive with T1 and RNG. Honestly, at this point.
I mean, they literally had a draft with Nivea and still
That was
won.
That was
So,
a big brain play with though.
The
That
thing,
Nivea really
yeah, I
fucked
think
up
that
PG.
was one of the better. That was one of the best drafts that I've seen in recent.
I don't think that was a good draft. I think it was just weird.
No,
No,
I think
Nivea's
that was
really good in certain
legitimate.
combos,
Yeah,
especially
I
EG
think
stuff.
first of all, I think Anivia gets undervalued because I think Anivia is an actual pick that you should consider. And second, I think that was one of the legitimately one of the better drafts in the last 4 or 5 months of league play because it not only perfectly neutralized everything that EG wanted to do, but it gave a lot of lot of potential playstyle for G2 without just thinking about Anivia,
Yeah.
which I think it's something that not a lot of teams do. And I think that I remember watching that the first matches of G2 and thinking, okay, yeah, this team and RNG and T1 are teams that you need to consider. Like, I legitimately wrote in a tweet because that's what I thought. G2, if they can keep up that draft style, I think they can actually challenge RNG and T1
Yeah.
because that's something that not a lot of teams
But
do.
yeah,
hard to agree with you.
other than that, there's nothing to talk about these three teams. It's more important to talk about the other three. And this is where I just plug in. We should just plug in. I made my power rankings. So I'm just going to put
yeah.
it up just a sec. Because
Oh, wait, power rankings for teams or the champions you showed us?
obviously
For
the
teams.
teams.
Okay.
I have my order in which I think everyone is going to leave the group stage,
So
and I'm really interested in seeing. Well, I think maybe Slayer would agree with me, and Miles as well. So
I mean, I'll
kind of
just
interested.
put it over
We're
here
putting it-
and then hold on.
put it in the channel
Yeah.
so you can see.
Although I think there's one team that we can all agree on. I'm pretty sure, which is PSG being last, right?
Yes.
I feel like that's
as everyone can see, sorry it took a bit of time. I don't have a short key to turn off everything except for this. So yeah, it took me a bit of time to, just close
Set it up.
everything down. They don't see us. They only see one image.
Okay, perfect.
And
Production value right there.
is it?
You got the high
Yeah.
production.
You mean
values.
bad production
Production
value? You
value.
mean bad production value?
Production value. High production value.
But yeah. Okay. I send it over to the rest, and then you can see. So as usual, number 1 is T1, number 2 is RNG, number 3 is G2. We all talk about that. Number 4 is Saigon Buffalo, number 5 is EG, and number 6 is PSG Talon.
I really
So-
want this to happen.
So that was that is legitimately my power ranking.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how I think they would get out. Now I do want to add the caveat. I think Saigon Buffalo edges over EG with a tiebreaker. By the way, I think it's a tiebreaker that
No.
decides that.
You think- you think NHL?
I think it's a
I
tiebreaker.
actually think they're just gonna go out scot-free because EG to me in that group, where I thought four best of ones, they could probably take a game of G2 couldn't take a game off G2.
They didn't.
I mean, that's like the biggest diss.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
EG couldn't take a game off G2 even after G2 through 2 games,
yes.
Yeah.
which is like, I don't know, fam. EG,
I honestly think that people might have.
I think Saigon Buffalo might just hand stiff EG.
No, I think people may have overestimated what Jojopian and Danny can do, because Danny's laning phase is clearly going to get exploited once again in this group. Because, well, have you
Really?
seen the bot lane of the 1, 2, 3, 4 on my list? Have you seen the bot lanes? Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
never
So,
mind that.
really,
Has
you think
anyone
so?
seen PSG's bot lane? Like,
Which is, luckily I think that even with that bot lane, like there's still a lot of problems, but yeah, I don't think AEG's bot lane actually wins against any. Like, mentioning that up, I don't think in a straight 2v2 they win.
funny. It's funny
guys,
how
if
they.
Vulcan continues to play like shit, yeah.
I don't think it's a
they're just
Vulcan
fucked.
thing. I think Danny's not
Danny
very good
alone
in
has
lane.
been
Danny's just
like,
not good in lane.
can we remember that? So like one of the first 2v2 kills, or not the first, but one of the 2v2 kills against G2, where he just randomly as Ezreal level 1 is ahead when he knows that he's against a pike, gets hooked, blows everything, and dies. Like, that is not a Vulcan thing. That's a Danny thing.
Okay, fair enough. I think Vulcan's also not performing very well.
Nah, I mean,
either.
Yeah,
I mean,
like,
sure, you
they're
can
not
say
performing,
that,
but
but
yeah.
I think Danny's laning is being exposed, and Jojopian simply cannot do anything against better mid laners.
Which is everyone.
No, because
interesting.
and this is something that was pointed out when LCS was going on, right? I don't remember who
Yeah.
pointed it out, but Jojopian always tries to go for the trade, where with the trade he's going to just try to out trade you, like in the simplest way of using abilities, or auto trading or stuff like that. But when better mid laners sniff that out, they're just going to punish him for that.
Yep.
He can't
Which is
do
what
th-
has
like,
happened
he
every
can't,
time.
Yeah, he's been getting punished by caps. He can't do this against Xiao and Faker. He cannot. Like, Xiao would tear him apart just because he tried to do this against Xiao.
Yeah, and Faker would just be
No,
like,
Faker wouldn't care.
Yeah, no,
Faker
like the
doesn't
thing,
give a shit.
exactly. Like there's a clear, like, both would end in the same result, which is Jojo messing up and dying, or dying just simply. But the way that both of them do it is differently, and it's still funny because one, it's just being better than you in
Yeah.
every way possible, and the other one is just
And
don't
we're
giving
back.
a fuck and still winning against you.
Yeah,
So-
and we're
so
back
it's
on video
hilarious.
again because I took down the image. But so yeah,
We're
video's back.
Yeah.
You can see us again.
All right.
But
I don't know if you guys have you guys seen the Reddit post where a Genji coach shared his thoughts on what
Yeah,
made
I saw it.
the Korean
And-
server like superior, or not
Yeah.
superior rather, or the culture
No,
of the
why?
Korean server.
Yeah, exactly. Why Koreans? Like, I remember this
we can
statement.
talk about this
like,
later.
I saw
Let's
it.
let's wrap.
I
Let's
saw
wrap.
this statement.
No,
It's so
no,
perfect.
because it's related. It's related to
Okay, go on.
what we're talking about. What we're talking about right
Yeah.
now.
Go on.
TDS,
I didn't see
you're
it, so
talking.
I
Yeah,
didn't see it.
so like there were multiple points, but two that I think stuck out and I think work perfectly with what Miles is trying to say here is that LCS tries to play the game, or the players from LCS try to play the game as chess. Meanwhile, the players from LCK try to play as
checkers.
poker.
Poker. Oh, poker. Yeah,
No,
that
poker,
makes
where-
sense.
where if
That
you-
makes sense.
Yeah, where if you have a bad hand, you go next. That's it. You try to keep on going and going and going. Meanwhile,
And you-
LCS always tries to take the time and do things and try and calculate everything possibly. And the thing is, like, for mechanically for solo queue and the like, that doesn't help your mechanics. The
Yeah.
Korea way helps your mechanics because you're trying to be better and get the best. And if you don't, you go next
Yeah.
and try and do it again.
Yeah.
That just improves mechanics consistently. Meanwhile, LCS solo, any solo queue doesn't do that. Like, you're like that doesn't improve mechanics, and that's why they're saying that it's always going to be the case that Asia or Korea is going to be superior. I say Asia because China plays in there as well.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
because they're
Vietnam
always
plays
going
there
to
too.
have better mechanics.
Vietnam plays
yeah,
there too. So-
exactly. Like, they're going to always
Japan
have
plays
better
there.
mechanics than you. Like that's
Yeah,
the thing.
and having good mechanics is like the foundation of your laning phase, right? If you
Yes.
suck compared to the other guy, you just get fucked.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the whole
and,
time.
and
and
that's
I
the,
think
that's the
this
thing that
is
I think goes to solo queue.
Yeah.
Sorry, Slayer.
No, I think this goes to show how EG is playing because Jojo Pion and Danny both came from, the amateurs and then they came up really quickly because they're really talented and they have good mechanics. But then when you come to
Already.
this level, all of a sudden you realize their mechanics have problems because they're trying to outlane you by trading, whereas you're supposed to outlane smartly. You need to use your mind and need to figure out what your opponents are trying to do and then try to counteract that instead of trying to just simply out hand stiff them because you're never going to do it.
Yeah, it's not just. I don't think it's just like smart play when it comes to the laning phase. I also think like probably the biggest strength that the West can bring against the East is drafting like what G2 does,
Yes.
Yeah.
which doesn't happen in NA. They they don't do shit with draft. Even if they think of the game as a
They
chess
can.
game, as a
Yeah.
strategy game, they're not thinking of draft that way, and it's really fucking them over because they will never hand stiff
Yeah.
an Asian team.
Oh,
They just won't. It's
On
not
the
gonna
on the
happen.
bright
At
side
best,
though,
it will be equal.
yeah. On the bright side though, Inspired played really well.
Yeah, Inspired playing pretty good.
Inspired played
Actually,
really well.
I wanted to.
And
I
Impact
wanted to bring that
Pretty
point
good.
Impact and
actually.
Inspired.
pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that point with Expired when we were talking about the group stage, the first stage of the
Yeah.
group stage, because I was thinking we were talking about how Johan and Ferret were performing, and Johan particularly, and it just made me think how if Johan was in Inspired shoes, EG probably doesn't even get out of the group.
Yes.
Like, I mean, well, if
Inspired-
Inspired was in PSG's shoes, I think PSG can challenge
Yeah.
a little bit.
I think Inspired alone carried them through the games with order.
I mean,
He
to
just
be honest,
carried them
PSG
through
really
that.
downgraded after losing River. It's just
Yeah.
River was really, really good for PSG. Unfortunately,
I
they
mean-
lost into NA.
I mean, yeah, he went to Dignitas and he got some success out of that.
Like I think he has been one of the better junglers in NA.
Yeah.
I'm saying that.
No,
if I'm
River
honest.
is one of the better junglers in NA.
Yeah,
But yeah,
On a lesser team too. So
obvious. Yeah.
exactly.
But yeah,
So yeah, that's the thing with Spire
I
for
think
me.
River is really good, and people in the PCS and especially worldwide are now realizing PSG was actually good because of River.
no, yeah, it was not because of Maple, not because
Not
just because of
not because of Maple, not just because Unified and Kaiwin are really good, but River was insane.
River was fucking insane as a jungler.
Like what River could do is what you want in a jungler. A jungler that can get your lead and maintain it and control tempo. That's what River can do. And there's not a lot of junglers that can do this.
I'm surprised,
Especially at the international level.
I'm surprised no one in the LCK decided to sign him.
No, because I don't think he can speak. Or maybe
River
he
is
didn't want to go
Korean.
there.
River is Korean.
River is Korean.
River is Korean. Maybe he
Yeah.
didn't want to go there. I mean, LCK has a bad rap, but they don't want to take back Koreans who went abroad.
I mean, Crown was the exception, right?
Was he?
Arya,
Yeah, Crown played in Brazil.
Arya.
Yeah, I mean, Arya and Crown, sure, but
There's other players because Cordy J he didn't start in Korea.
There's precedent for it. I can tell. I mean,
Cordy J didn't
LCK,
start in Korea, and he went
LCK
back to
kind of
Korea.
in need of junglers,
So,
right? Of good junglers right now. Not gonna
I
lie.
think I think it may not have been with River, but with LCK, but with River, because if we're thinking about junglers in LCK, who like below top 5, would he go to a team that is below top 5
No,
instead of
I
going
think
to
he
an
would-
where I
No.
think he potentially can get better?
No, because
like, the thing is, I think
I think the reason he went to NA was because with Dignitas, he legitimately thought, okay, this is a team I can potentially make a play to Worlds.
exactly. So that's the thing that I'm thinking about. If you're in Korea, if you're not in T1, Genji, or Damwon as a jungler, then
or even
your
or even
best
you
option
know,
is fourth.
no, or even let's say KDF or DRX.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Like those are the
though I
options that
think-
you can
though
take
I
in jungle,
think-
and even then.
Yeah, though I think KDF should call Dignitas and say, okay, can you give us River?
Yeah, I was
Yes.
thinking that
Yeah,
too,
they-
sir. I was thinking that exact same thing. I was like, freaks,
don't get me
get
like,
this
the
man's
thing-
number right now.
exactly. So I don't think I think River. If I was KDF, I would call River immediately. But the thing is, I don't think it will happen. So when
Yeah.
when you're in River and you're in that position, you think, should I take a bottom four LCK team that
No.
doesn't even have a chance to work, or go to an A where essentially like he thinks he's better than everyone else, and
Yeah.
I don't think that's fake to assume. So if you think that you go to an A, you think that you can get out of with any team and reach
Yeah.
Worlds, I think that's a better
Yeah,
bet
fair
than going
enough.
to LCK and a team that doesn't take top four.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. So you guys have anything to add for? But I think we should close it off the best way possible, talking about Saigon a bit more, because I can't believe this bot lane went under the radar.
So apparently, it's not even the best bot lane in the
Oh,
PCS.
of course, it's Gavi's versus owns everything.
No. I mean, apparently there's other 380 carries that are better than Shogun, apparently.
Yeah, but Shogun's 17.
Yeah, no,
That's my
but
point.
what I mean, like, I'm not trying to take away. What I mean is apparently there's better.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
What
that's the thing.
the
Apparently
fuck
there's
is going
better
on
than
here?
them.
I mean, if you consider like, especially for a region like VCS, the best player of every role would probably be from Gammy Swords.
Yeah.
Just be the entirety of Gam, and
Yeah.
then you'd have everyone else, like, and then you'd have
Also,
different teams having different people, stuff like that, right?
Yeah, we're also talking about the bowling, but I actually like the player that I've liked the most, if I'm honest, has been Hazmat. I think him as a
Hazmat?
top laner has been so good.
I mean, Hazmat is nice, but I think he's been punished too often.
That is true. I think
Him and
he
Froggy
has been,
both have been punished quite a bit,
shown
but again,
a little bit of things.
this team is so young. I'm like,
Yeah.
how is this possible?
Yeah, how are these guys so fucking good?
Like imagine
don't
they
have
have
an
to
answer
play
to that,
against Kaya, Levi, like, and then they're like, okay, Gam destroys us, cool, but still, this is the testament, because this means that VCS has more to offer as a team, right?
Yep.
As a region, they have a lot more to offer. They've got something there. So I mean, yeah.
Let's imagine like Saigon Buffalo fought against like went against a team with like a lot of more international experience in Detonation Focus Me, and just like they outcalled them in the late game.
Yeah, they just at some point they just outsmarted them, like
They had an
How?
early game team comp that needed to stay in the lead against fucking Aphelios, and they had a dive comp against Aphelios, and they fucking won.
yeah.
Yep.
This
Yep.
is not supposed to happen.
No, because this reminds me of actually game 1 against DFM as well, right? The first game against
Yep.
DFM, where DFM got a lead because, Hazmat was getting punished on Aatrox in top lane, and it's kind of doomed. And then all of a sudden, they get a pick on Utapon, because, Shogun is on Lucian. And then they go straight to Baron, right? They force DFM to face check them. And what they do, the moment they come to contest, they all jump into every Zargot and they just try to annihilate him. On a split second, everyone's on point. That tells me that this team is so focused and so cohesive in terms of comms that it's insane that
They have no
such a
fear.
young team has no fear.
They have no
Yeah.
fear. They will go at you.
Yeah. And this was the read
Well-
on them when they came into MSI. Everyone's like, this is a team that goes big or goes home.
Yeah, I actually
going
like
big.
pointing that out with a young team that has no fear reminds me a little bit. Obviously, there's one clear difference, that it's veteran C in the team that I'm going to mention,
T1.
but it reminds me of
T1.
T1 of last year. Yeah, exactly. It reminds me of the T1 that went to Worlds with the 4 players that have close to no experience, and they just went in consistently, confidently, trying to do everything possible to win you. Like, they were not afraid of anything.
Yeah.
There's the clear difference that you have a
But they have Faker.
veteran in
They have
Faker.
Faker. That helps.
Exactly.
They have Faker.
Yeah, like that's the thing. They had Faker, and I think that's going to be one of the problems that maybe Saigon
Yeah.
finds in this round.
Yeah.
Because now you're actually against teams that will, like, they are not afraid of you. They are not. They don't
but
have
don't
field
you
and
think-
hands difference,
Yeah.
and they will be better at you at some
Yeah,
points.
but don't you think that if the Rumble stage is over and Saigon is 5th,
Yeah.
don't you think that's a success already?
I think
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think 100%. Like this is the
if you are
the second seed.
if you're 5th as the VCS second team, that is insane to even think about. Because imagine GAM. Like I don't think, imagine if GAM was here. That's what everyone would say. And it's
Imagine.
Saigon Buffalo saying that. Imagine if Gam were here.
yeah, like
So I do wanna like, because I'm thinking, I do agree. I think it's a success if Gam gets fifth. If Buffalo gets fifth, I think that's a success in and of itself. I also think that they will play spoiler a little bit, so that would be so hilarious to watch.
no, but
And I also want to
imagine
mention
this. I'm just gonna put it out there.
yeah,
GAM only lost 3 games in the entirety of the split. And they play best of 3s. So they only lost 3 games.
so they're just a little below T1 in that sense.
Yeah, I feel like this is the calm before the storm when Gam shows up at Worlds, basically.
I want. Is his Slayer still here, or did he?
No, I'm still here. I'm still here.
Okay, yeah, because you were making a point, and I was afraid
No,
he did.
I'm just making the point of imagine that.
Yeah, exactly. And I wanted to mention that, but I'm glad that you bring that again up, because I was watching, like I'm saying, I don't have a lot of knowledge of PCS, so I didn't want to make any broad assessment on anything, but I was watching a little bit of the playoffs, and Buffalo won 3-2 in the semifinals to Team Secret, which means that Team Secret could potentially be close to that level as well.
Yes.
So that means that there's 3 potential teams in BCS that could actually go head to head with a lot of the teams that are potentially going to Worlds. That's something exciting to think about. And I also wanted to mention another thing. We're talking about Shogun being 17 years old, but watching the 80 carries from each of the teams, like it's 2003, 2004, and 2002 for each of the 80 carries of the top 3 teams.
Yes.
So they're junk, and they are probably really, really good. That's something to keep in mind as well.
Who's the oldest? Unified?
No, Style. Like I was talking about the BCS.
Yeah.
Like it's from GAM. Style is the oldest.
In the top 6.
Yeah, but Style's been active for so long, and he's been so good. But
yeah, exactly. So that's the thing. Like he's young, and he still has been for a long time. Shogun coming up is really fun to see.
I mean, I just can't understand how VCS has not attended like internationals, and everyone just forgot if VCS exists.
I mean, to be honest, it's kind of giving me. If you guys know about the FGC,
Sadly.
if you guys know about the fighting game community,
yes,
apparently Pakistan
know
is
very
actually
little.
really fucking cracked. Like
Didn't they have a
Pakistan's-
champion from Pakistan?
Yeah,
Like
Pakistan-
an actual player
Yeah,
was
yeah.
champion in one of the
Yeah,
games.
they made it. They won Evo. Like apparently
Yeah,
Pakistan's
like,
really
I was
fucking
thinking
good
of
at
it.
fighting games.
yeah.
And they were just basically trying to train against each other. It was like a hyperbolic time chamber. And then when Pakistan came out, they just fucked everyone.
Yep. But that's
actually.
all I'm
so
gonna
good.
say is GAM only lost 2 games. One of them was against Saigon. The other one was against SBTC, which barely missed playoffs.
Oh wait, yeah. I mean TDS. Just one last point about the fighting game thing. The greatest Tekken player in the world ever is Ni from Korea. He decided to go train in Pakistan.
Makes sense. Like I won't like that. That's the thing. I know that there's certain players, especially for what is fighting games, and I think Dota and CS:GO as well. One player from one region can just be so fucking cracked that you will decide to go to that place to play.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well-
Then the guy who won Evo was like, guys, there are better players than me in Pakistan. So
Yeah, like I
that's
knew
how
of
I'm
those kind
feeling
of things.
about
That's-
Saigon Buffaloes right now, basically.
Yeah, at this point it makes a little bit of sense to maybe keep our a better attention at BCS potentially
Yep.
to see what happens there.
Yeah. So okay, that wraps up, what we think of the teams, and
Do we talk about the controversy?
the controversy or the pink controversy.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just Riot mismanagement. I don't think we need to beat a dead horse.
Yeah. Honestly,
Yeah.
Riot fucked up. and then everyone got mad at each other.
Yeah, everyone got
Yeah,
mad at each other.
essentially.
Uh,
Yeah. The only thing I thought about that is don't bring teams into that. That's it. Like,
yeah,
don't bring any team into that. Not T1, not RNG, no one.
yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah.
That's it.
RNG
It
had to
was
play
not
3
RNG's
extra
fault, it
games,
was
and they
not
were like,
T1.
okay.
Yeah, well, fine, we'll do it. So first 9-0 in the group stages of MSI in this format. Congrats to
Yeah.
RNG, I guess.
Yes.
Like,
Hopefully the last time we see this format, but obviously it's not going to be
But
the last time.
yeah, I think let's talk about champions first of the meta, and then we can move on
Okay.
to other stuff like the
Rosters.
MSI format, because that's a raging topic. But yeah,
Yep.
sure.
so we have a tier list for champions. Now I will clarify to everyone, right? This is a tier list we made based on presence from the group stages and who we think will be picked and is also strong. So it's both strong and picked. So we took both into account. It's not just which champions are strongest, because that'd be absurd. Like, it's really hard to tell which team is strong and which team is not, to be honest.
Also, we're not high elo players, so
yeah.
even we can't like
Yep.
we can't be like, oh yeah, I play in high challenger. This champion is really good in this patch.
Yeah.
I'm high yellow in my heart, okay?
But this is based on what you've seen so far, and
Yeah.
what champions are being highly prioritized, and what we think is overall strong based on what our knowledge is, right? What our
Yep.
knowledge is. Take it with a grain of
what-
salt. Everyone's
And
is
what
different.
what we steal from players who are better than us.
Yes, obviously. Hey, free information. They publicize it.
Yeah, true. Anyway, all right, bring up the tier list.
Okay, just a sec. Just gonna change the shape. Here we go. So we have S tier: Ari, Graves, Gwen, GP, and Lucian. No surprises there, right? Yeah. A is, by the way, this is not in any order. We're not saying Ari is the best champion. It's just we just put it in there, right?
Pros very highly prioritize Ari. We'll just put it
I
that way.
mean,
I think it's alphabetical, right?
I didn't go alphabetical. I just put it in there.
Is it?
Okay.
I just put it in
Well,
there.
S is alphabetical, I think. Well,
No, I just put it in
actually,
there.
no. Gangplank is before.
Gangplank would
Yeah,
be
no,
first.
Gangplank
No,
would be first, yeah.
I just put it in there. I just slapped it in there, right? So,
Okay.
so then we have A tier, which is Kaisa, LeBlanc, Nami, then there's Wukong, Nautilus, Leona, Viego, Renata, TF, Silas, Ezreal,
What?
Alistar.
One thing I want to comment about Nautilus, I see a lot of people on Reddit being like, "Oh, Nautilus is such a shit champ." Like every team who picks him.
Has
loses.
anyone
I'm
seen
like,
his
"Bro."
hooks?
I'm like, guys, listen. Once Ming picks up Nautilus, once like Keria picks up Nautilus, that champ's not gonna look weak.
No. I mean, every time when I play a lot of Arams, and whenever I see Nautilus, I'm like, oh god. And then he just pulls out a hook that's not supposed to hit, but it does hit. I'm like, how did that happen? Yesterday, I was playing with a buddy of mine. He got hooked while he was behind the tower. How does that work? Who knows? It's Nautilus. But yeah, Nautilus hook. Weird
Listen,
hitbox.
in the hands of
I am on the
in the
side
hands
that
of a
Nautilus
player
is a
who's
shit
not,
champion, if I'm honest.
huh?
I am on the side that Nautilus is a shit champion, but I do agree that wait till some players with actual hands use it, and it's going to be the other way around.
Hey, this is a tier list.
right?
This is a tier list for professional play, not for us regular plebeians.
Exactly. That's why I say I think he is a shit champion. But wait till people with actual hands use it, and then you'll think that it's going to be the complete opposite. We're going to see threads where what the fuck is Nautilus? How can that champion be fair?
Okay.
Yeah, it's basically just that, right?
Yeah.
Once if you don't know what you're doing with Nautilus, you will just int. Like you will go 0-8
Yeah,
straight up.
yeah. Let's leave this off until I do the whole list, and then we'll actually go to the actual discussion about why we went with this and stuff like that. So B, we have Aatrox, Camille, Diana, Galio, Karma, Lee Sin, Tristana, Tryndamere, and Vex. Then we have C, which is Aphilio, Snar, Jin, Callista, Pike, Zaya. Then we have Karthus, Senna, Caitlyn, Jace, and Irelia. Like D tier, obviously Samira. Samira, Zeri, there's Zoe, Volibear, Zinzao, Gragas, Syndra, Jarvan, Rakan, Noct, and the three surprises for us: Nocturne, Mordekaiser, and Veigar. Now,
I think you should have put Anivia there. By the way, I just realized.
no, no.
The thing,
I think you should have
don't
put it.
agree. I don't agree just because there's only one player that has played Anivia, so it
Only
doesn't
one
make a
game.
lot
There's
of
only
sense.
one game.
All right, fine.
Not
I'm
even
just
one game,
saying-
like one player that will be willing to play that. So
All right, I'm just saying. I feel as TDS said before we started the recording. I think Anivia is super undervalued.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree, but I don't think it should be included because there's
okay.
no chance
So-
that anyone apart from Camps plays it.
Yeah, okay. So guys, let's talk about the list. So S tier, obviously, if we're going to rank the S tiers, 1 to 5, I would say number 1 would definitely be Graves. Because Graves he's so good in the jungle, especially with Glaive, and he can be flexed. And like that's nasty. Number 2 would definitely, in my mind, would still be Lucian, because has anyone seen Lucian? I mean,
He's really good right now, especially with Nami. I'm like, the Lucian Nami lane is just absolutely fucking.
So yeah, the Lucian Nami is the main course here, but the thing is, I think Nami is the one that gets that benefits from Lucian existing, not
Yes.
the other way around.
yes.
No,
You
yeah,
can
yeah.
play Lucian with any enchanter, and the effect will be close to equal,
Yeah.
except for maybe the early phases. But the effect will be close to equal. But
Yeah.
Nami without Lucian doesn't feel the same way.
Yeah.
Now, Nami there's champions that Nami can play with that are really niche, but can play with. But Nami without Lucian is probably B.
Yeah.
Nami with Lucian is A.
Yeah. So
I agree.
yeah, so again, keeping on going, so we have, so we'd have to put we'd probably put Ari at 3 and then Gwen at 4 and then GP at 5. The reason, actually, no, GP at 3 because GP has to be banned. It's like, you can't leave him open. There's no counters for him.
Yeah.
He's, there's no literal counter for him. He can't do anything. Because all he does is gets to level 6 and then cannon barrages anywhere he wants and then farms
I'm
out.
telling you right now, GP is perma ban against RNG.
Oh, GP is
There's no
always
way
going to be
Bin-
banned.
There's no way any team would let Bin have.
No,
his
I
hands
don't
on
think
that
any
shit.
team's
It's
going to let
actually-
anyone have GP. It's like that would be nuts. But yeah,
So-
GP would be 3, then Ari would be 4, and then Gwen would be 5.
I
Because
honestly
people
think
are
Ari's
leaving out
5,
Gwen.
if I'm honest.
Huh?
If I'm honest, I think Ari's 5. Like,
No.
I understand the what you're saying with the logic that it's based on who will be left open and who can carry more. And obviously, Ari will be left less than Wen in comparison. Like, we have seen way more wins than Ari's, but I think Ari is weaker than Wen. And I think people
Gwen's
are not
more
exploiting
useful,
that.
No,
I think people are not exploiting the Ari correctly, and I think Ari is
I can
weaker than
agree
Wen.
with TDS in one respect, in just one way, is that I think Ari has clear counterplays. Gwen doesn't. Gwen's clearly doesn't have a exact counterplay where you can actually like outdo her, if you know what I mean.
Do her.
No, I mean
I think you
outdo
could have put it in a
mean
better way.
no, you can't.
I'll kill her.
No, you can't go out of your way and just outplay a Gwen.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
I think the only one that can do that is Jax, and even then.
It's still a skill matchup, you know.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like the only one that I can see doing that is Jax, and even then, like there's
Fiora
there's
maybe.
issues. Like there's issues there. So yeah.
Fiora maybe, but like.
So
that's also
actually,
extremely niche.
I'm surprised we didn't include. Now that I think about it, I'm surprised we didn't include Jax here. But is it because it's just played against
It's
Gwen?
just been
It's
No,
used
because
against
Zeus
either
has played-
Camille or
yeah.
Gwen.
No,
It's
no,
Camille or
Zeus
Gwen
has played it as
No,
well, so
but-
it's just Bean and Zeus.
yeah.
No, actually, didn't Broken Blade play it as well? I think he did. Not sure.
Yeah, but I think when teams will see Gwen, they might just offer another avenue of try to exploit the
It's just because you never first
No.
pick Jax.
yeah, and in the same vein, I think Gwen's been banned a lot more later on than picked.
Yeah.
So Gwen's trying to go up the ban prio, and I think people will start leaving off GP to try and see if they can do something on GP. But I think GP should never be left out. But again, maybe teams are figuring out how to counter GP. Who knows?
I think
Maybe.
I think there are ways if you like concentrate on
Yeah.
ganking top.
Yeah,
lanes,
but
'cause GP
but
doesn't
again,
really have an escape.
as anyone
Okay.
has, if I mean, definitely, if anyone sees the tier list, I'll also put it on the description. We'll also put it on the
Yeah.
description. The thing is, you'll notice there's no supports in tier S tier because every support is pretty good, guys. Like we have 5 supports in the A tier because they're all really good. So we can't have 5 supports in S tier, so just put them in
Yeah.
A tier. And
Yeah.
because, Lucian is insane. We all know that.
What about putting Karma up there in A? Because she can be flexed.
I think Karma at B makes a lot more sense because the way, like, I understand the thing about being flexed, but at the same time, I think if you're going to take Karma, you're going to either take the Karma Israel lane or the Karma Lucian lane. And even then, when you take that, teams already know you're going to take it. So you probably have something in mind. I definitely think if you're going to play Karma or basically if you're going to play Karma, you're going to have to be very, very worried. You're going to be worried about the fact that teams can just take Nautilus, Leonor, and Alistair. Like, okay, you're an enchanter, deal with this. Headbutt Pulverize, Solar Flare, Hook. Enchanters do really bad against engaged champions, and that's what we've been seeing so far, right? So I think that
from Nami, yes.
I think Nami's actually struggled. I don't think Renata struggles because Renata has an engage.
I think
The thing
Karma's
is,
one of the
Nami-
better
I
ones
think-
against engaged supports.
I think Nami is in his left tone 1 against his engage supports because you can deny any potential engage
Yes.
immediately.
The
Nami, I think Nami is misutilized, but it's certainly been you can look at how she has been threatened,
Yeah.
and it's because I think it's mainly because of how the players play her, much more so than the champion. So yeah.
So it's like you can understand picking Nami into engage supports because Nami has disengaged with the tidal wave and the bubble. You can understand that. But if you're picking Karma, you get hooked, you're dead. No manner of shield will help you.
Yeah, fair. I think Karma has tools to outrun the
Like
hook, though.
imagine getting hooked by a Nautilus. Nautilus just CCs you there for 4 seconds.
So the thing with Karma, I think, works in the same vein as Nami in the sense that if she's the one that gets hooked, it's over.
Yes.
If she's not the one that gets hooked, there's playability,
Yeah.
which I think it's the issue that I can see with Karma.
Which is why I think if there's any combination they're gonna play, they're probably going to play Ezreal Karma.
Yeah.
They're probably gonna play
then-
Ezreal Karma because that makes a lot of sense because they attack from range. They have
Also,
lane.
fuck playing against that lane.
Yeah,
That's an absolutely horrible lane to play against.
It's a ridiculous lane to play against, and yeah, like I think that's the only thing. Maybe Lucian Karma works, but I don't think Lucian provides exactly what Karma needs in lane. But again, that can really work because Lucian is really strong. But again, I don't see anyone
I think
picking
Lucian
Lucian.
Karma will be I think Lucian Karma, it's a lane that should be played. The problem is that Lucian, like to me, it's not comparable to the early game power to Lucian Nami. So I think that people will not like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we won't see much of it.
and the point
Like-
of Lucian is to win lane early.
And I think
You don't really need to, but yeah, like I think players have been much more proficient in wanting to win lane than not.
yeah.
And even then,
Yeah.
if you can, just to finish the point with the Lucian, because one thing that Lucian Nami excels at compared to Lucian Karma that will not be the case is that even when you die as Lucian Nami, you can kill everyone almost any time.
Yes.
Because the
Yeah.
burst damage is so huge.
The mid game for Lucian Nami
Yeah.
is too good.
No, but not even the mid game. Like if you die in lane once, you can come back to lane and kill the enemy even with an item disadvantage.
Yes.
But you
Yeah,
cannot
that's
do that with Nami.
Yeah.
Like I remember in the T1
Karma.
game,
You mean
T1
Karma.
remember? Yeah, like remember T1 Saigon, the first one.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Nami Lucian died so consistently, but they got a kill of the Tristana even when they were all two down.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't matter that way. Karma is, I don't think it's that it can be in that same
Yeah.
vein to
No.
the Nami.
Fair enough, fair enough,
I
fair
think
enough.
rather than people trying to go Lucian Karma, they rather want to go Lucian Leona or Lucian Nautilus, because imagine Lucian Nautilus or Lucian Leona. They just grab someone, they are CC'd for 3-4 seconds.
Heck, Lucian
Honestly,
Alistar would be good.
I honestly hope I honestly hope Lucian Braum becomes a thing in this in this tournament, because I think
Ooh,
that
that's
I'm
Braum
surprised no one picked
interesting.
up.
Braum
Yeah,
Braum is I think so undervalued right now, and he works so well against so many of these champions because of his disengaged potential. And I think for support wise, for Lucian and his passive, the best supports for him that are not
Yeah.
enchanters are Alistar and Braum.
Yeah.
So I think that it should be
I
looked
think
into.
Braum comes back. I think Braum enters the meta if everyone's just stop playing enchanters. All of a sudden, then they start
can see that,
picking
yeah.
Braum. Because if they pick enchanters against Braum's kind of
Yeah,
not
I
good.
think you just ban Nami Karma and then go for the Brum.
Why would you ban Nami and Karma?
Or you let the enemy ban Karma. You let the enemy ban Nami, and then you just go for the Brum, Lucian.
the thing is, I don't think they ever banned Nami.
I
You
don't
banned
think they
Lucian.
ever ban Nami. They'll always ban Lucian.
Yeah, you banned Lucian because
that's a good point.
Yeah.
that like sadly people don't play the combos that Nami
Yeah.
would want to do, so it's just Lucian.
Yeah, and
Like
Yeah,
I did this off topic, and I don't think I've ever going to see this, but I was able to see a combo that I loved with the Nami that was brand Nami, and it's one of the most disgusting shit I've seen in my life.
No one's ever gonna pay it.
No one's ever
No
play
one's
that.
ever gonna play it. I agree.
Give that shit
I can assure you. Yeah, that's why I say no one's ever gonna pick it. But that's one of the most disgusting combos I've seen, and people just simply don't want to play it. Like that. That's so stupid. You can proc the Nami passive 3 miles away from the enemy.
Yeah.
It's so dumb, but it's never gonna happen.
You know, it'd be funny if a team throws a curveball. They pick Nami Lucian, then pivot Lucian to mid or top,
Yeah. But
and then play
It would be
Grand.
hilarious.
but again, so
not
that's
gonna
pretty
happen.
much S tier. Let's go to A tier because
Yeah.
we've got a lot of supports there, and we already explained why. But we also have, in terms of top lane, we have nobody.
Technically Wukong.
I mean, Wukong's never gonna play top lane. Have you seen
We
Wukong?
consider it a technicality.
technically-
No, but jungle we have
So-
Viego and Wukong, and then for mid lane we have LeBlanc and Silas and TF, and ADC we have obviously Kaisa and Ezreal. But I think the reason why we don't have any top laners in A tier is because I think after GP and Gwen, every other top laner has a qualifier they need. Now let me explain what I mean by qualifier. For example, for a team to pick Camille, they need to make a comp around Camille so that Camille can succeed. Aatrox, you need to kind of babysit Aatrox for a bit so that Aatrox gets some items. Or else Aatrox is not very good, right? Also, he can be countered quite a bit. And then you have and then you start going down to Tryndamere, who needs a lead because at level 6 he wants to dive someone. So you need to play around top lane. So you have these top lane picks and they have these fringes, and then everyone's like, okay, has their own idea of what they want to play, right? And so that's why I think there's not a clear A tier top laner.
I think
Yeah,
also
that's
the value comes because of the TP changes. Where
Yes.
top lane is seen as just, fuck, you're really stuck on an island now in the top lane.
Yeah.
But that's also why I kind of disagree with the Camille in one sense. Not that it's wrong to assume that you need to be able to comp around her, but I also feel like she has fallen into the spot where you can like she's become the blind pick of top lane, where she doesn't necessarily do bad in almost any matchup, and she doesn't lose value compared to other champions if the game goes longer. She has become the new Renekton in my opinion. So I feel like that's a little bit of why I think she doesn't go into A, because she's not clearly over all the other ones. It's just that she has become the safe pick, and that's why I think B fits her much
I
better.
think people picking Aatrox is very telling because it feels like some teams are saying, okay, Aatrox is actually pretty good, but then Aatrox has these massive counters, yet they still pick Aatrox.
I think Aatrox is just the top laner you pick when you don't know what else to pick.
No. I definitely think they have an idea behind it. It's more like even if he has massive counters, that goes to speak that there is no other top laner to think about after Gwen and
And
GP.
I think it's just that pros also super value the mid game, and that's where Aatrox really
And
shines.
I want to bring up
That is true. But
this question though,
I want
because this just popped in my head, right? I want to ask you too. Do you think we come to a point in the Rumble stage and further on that teams just stop banning GP and Gwen, and they just handshake it?
I don't think so. I feel like we're much. I think we're much into getting to a point where we don't actually see any of these champions playing in top lane, and we just
I think
devolve into anything
I
else.
think that's too much of an advantage you give to top to give you a team that has GP.
The thing is, I feel like what I mean by this that I think we are going to see not devolvement or jump into the meta where we're going to see much more Ornn and Sion, and I think
I think
that's
Ornn's
going
a
to
good
happen.
shout. I think Ornn is a very good shout.
Ornn is good.
I think Sion because there's I think Broken Blade will begin playing Sion and I
Wait,
think he will do
I
so
did
good
not
that
put
that's going
Ornn
to be
in
the next
there.
step.
What the hell?
No.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I was gonna ask
actually
about
just
that.
I actually just thought about it, so
Yeah,
I didn't mention it. But
Ornn would
I
be in
think
B tier for us, guys.
Ornn,
I will upload the
so
updated one. Ornn will be in B tier for us. So
yeah,
yeah, just putting it out there.
keep in mind that. But I think Ornn, like we're saying, Ornn is going to be a champion that will appear much more,
Yeah.
and I think Sion will appear much more because one player will play that, it's going to be good, and then people will begin playing
I
that as
don't
well.
think
And I think
Also,
that's what's going to
I
happen.
kind of
So
disagree with Sion because I think instead of Sion, I think we'll see more Gragas.
well, that may be fair. Like I think the thing what I'm trying to put there is that I think we're going to see two tanks go
Yes.
up in the tier list, and I think that that's going to be
Yeah.
prevalent. And in that sense, you cannot allow to have GP or
Yeah.
Gwen because if you're playing tanks, those two champions are just going to have a field day, and that's going to be a really
I
bad
also
issue.
think
So I think that that's not going to happen.
there might be a bit more value on the Sand because he is an AD tank, unlike every other tank in in the entire
Which there's
game.
a lot of AD champions and the mid laners that you see here are not necessarily good against them. Like Ari is not good against AD tanks because she doesn't deal enough damage to burst them out. Same with the Blank, same with TF, same with Silas is a bit better, but
Nasas
like
can
that's
outlast the
also
tank.
why
That's a problem.
yeah, exactly. Like that's the thing. So these are not good champions
No,
for them, and that's why I think
yeah.
if tanks become meta, I think we are not seeing GP or Gwen back.
Oh, I also forgot to put another champion in there, and I completely
I
forgot
think
about
Gwen
it.
might be a more possibility
No,
because pros just like to pick her into
yeah.
tanks.
Not only that, I think Gwen is good against tanks, and I feel like teams wouldn't want to give away that potential champion because she shreds tanks and she shreds back lane
Yeah.
equally.
Yeah. I'm also going to add another champion in because I completely forgot about it. Victor. I'm going to put Victor
right.
in D tier.
Oh.
Victor
Oh,
in D
yeah.
tier because I think there's going to be games where people just say, okay,
How the mighty have fallen.
no, I don't think Victor has fallen. I think
How the mighty have
I
fallen.
think
He
he's,
was S tier just a couple of months ago.
yeah. No, I think Victor's gotten to a point that everyone's playing like Silas, TF, and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and they're like, there's no time to scale.
People want globals, basically.
No, there's no time to
We're
scale.
back to worlds. We're back to worlds.
Yeah.
World's meta plus Wukong.
Yeah.
See, I told you this wasn't going to last for too long.
No, I'm glad Corky's
wasn't
out.
going
I
to
think
happen.
Victor was fine.
I hate that Corky's out. I like Corky,
No,
not the
shut
Corky
the
of.
fuck up, you
So
Korean
I no no no,
stan.
but maybe let me explain that. I like Corky, not the stupid Corky poke that destroys you from 20 miles
Yeah.
away. I like the carry Corky with
Yeah.
with
Package.
Manamune and Shield Bow because at least you're playing an
Okay.
AD carry, so you have to kind of play well.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Poke Corky was dumb.
For Corky, get that shit out of her face.
Yeah.
Yeah, poke Corky like I'm yeah.
But yeah, like it's like, you know, we're gonna have to talk a lot more about, you know, we're gonna have a lot more conversation about Wukong and how a single W change made him into a high priority jungle. Like, yeah, W can go over walls now. What? He must be perma-picked now.
I think it just
So,
gives you a lot
yeah.
more versatility in the jungle.
But I think given like, I think now we can just talk because as we talked about top lane, because I think we'll see a lot more top laners as you mentioned. We'll see quite a bit of Camille and Aatrox in my opinion, right? Because I think people are just gonna handshake that, and then we're gonna see a bunch of Ornn, and then some people are gonna pick Gragas, and some people are gonna pick like what? Scion maybe? But I think Mordekaiser might be a dark horse here because we were talking this before we started recording. Mordekaiser into Camille is actually quite nice because all Mordekaiser has to do is isolate the guy who's supposed to get.
Not it's okay in the team phase, but not in the laning phase. Mordekaiser gets straight up fucked
I mean,
in the laning.
I don't think Mordekaiser wins any lane anymore. But it's like if you go to a
wins
team
against
fight
tanks.
situation,
He wins against Zorn,
yeah,
Yeah, he wins against Ornn.
yeah.
in which case that would be good. Yeah.
But again, Mordekaiser I think is a dark horse in my opinion because I think he can make it in some situations where like Camille Galio, okay, pick Mordekaiser, Death Realm Galio, Deltam Galio or Camille. There's no AoE ulti. There's no global ulti. Done. And I think that's very good. And we all know what Mordekaiser can do when he gets a kill.
Yeah, sure, fair enough, I guess. But like,
Yeah.
I think you go for the tankier build Mordekaiser. and
Yeah, you obviously go for the Rylai's and be the tank.
Unless the problem is unless you're playing against a tank and you're Mordekaiser, you're just giving up the lane.
Yes.
So
But I think that can really work. Anyways, moving from top lane, let's go to the jungle because we've talked about Graves, we've talked about Wukong because Wukong can, and then we have Viego in there. Viego is in our A tier. Then we have
As always.
then we have Diana in B
As
tier.
always, yeah.
The Diana in B tier, right?
Diana only works in certain comps.
No, I
That's
mean- Works in certain comps, true,
Yeah.
but I would not be surprised if we see more Diana.
okay, yeah.
Then we have going down to C tier, we have Karthus because I
Not
think we'll
talking
see
about
about
Lee Sin.
huh?
Not talking about
Oh yeah, Lee Sin's B tier, but Lee Sin's always there.
Yeah, no, Lee Sin.
Do
Lee
you
Sin is
remember
just
a
the
meta where there's no
jungler.
Lee Sin?
2020, but that was the only time ever.
2015.
2020 people still played Lee Sin. Karsa played Lee Sin.
2015.
No, I mean like prevalent meta where Lee Sin
No,
is
I
just
mean,
a go-to
Yeah.
champ
Name
for
a
everyone.
leadership
2015?
tournament where Lee Sin was never picked. Never.
Yeah, that's.
Okay,
Never.
yeah.
I think. Well, actually, I want to confirm, but I think there was one, which was 2015 MSI, because tanks were so strong, stupid strong.
Maybe.
But that's it.
I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check that.
Because it was remember, yeah, the
I remember
Bami
that.
Cinder meta.
Yeah.
I remember that.
That's the only
Didn't
one I
they-
can think of.
Didn't the pros just give Lee Sin Bomby Cinder and called it a day?
Well, there was like they even gave it to Rengar. Remember, Tank Rengar was a thing. But from what I'm seeing,
fuck
no,
that
there
shit.
was no Lee Sin in 2015. In 2015 MSI, no Lee Sin from what
Wow.
I've seen.
Wait, let me check.
See, I told you there was one. Evelyn was picked, but that was because cleared up. But there was no Lee Sin in MSI.
Wasn't it just stupid that Evelyn could remain invisible and just be burning you with the
Yeah.
Bomby Cinder? Wasn't
Yep.
that the thing?
No, but that was a thing from way old. They took that away from like the first batch. I remember.
Yeah.
Like that was way too long.
Yeah. But yeah.
See, I told you there was a Lee Sin.
Yeah.
There was 10
Yeah, but
Lee Sin
we have
wasn't
Diana,
picked.
Lee Sin, and then we obviously have to go down a C tier where we have Karthus, and then D tier we have the Volibears, the Zinzaos, and Nocturne. The reason I
Karthus
have
just warped
Karthus
the game
higher
around.
up is because people have been banning Karthus.
Yeah.
They're kind of afraid of Karthus because Karthus can perma scale. Karthus.
Yeah, we need to remember the fact that they buff Karthus
Yes.
to the jungle for some reason. So yes, it happened.
Because I think Karthus in C tier makes a lot of sense because I can think of a few players who'll just outright pick it.
I think Karthus is just a champion that you really need to play around. He's like Master
Yeah.
Yi in the sense where the game is just focused towards what.
No,
Karthus
I don't
is
think it's
doing.
Master Yi. You know why? Because if you CC Master Yi dies, that's it. If you kill Karthus, all Karthus does is comes back alive and murders you.
No, I get that, but that's just base mechanics. I'm talking about how the game warps around this
Yeah.
particular pick.
Yeah,
Okay.
Base mechanics.
base mechanics.
Fine. Inherent mechanics of a champion. They're basically the same
Design
concept.
mechanics.
Yeah,
Design
yeah, but
mechanics.
I'm gonna put it out there. I think we're gonna see a lot more D tier champions like the Volibear and the Zinzao because people are gonna handshake it, or even the Jarvan. But the reason the D tier is because I don't think they're very strong. I think you guys agree with me.
True.
Yeah, Jarvan's not.
Because
Like I think they have one mode and that's about it.
I
Like that's the kind of thing that I
I
see.
think if teams have a choice, they'll probably always go Lee Sin and Viego
Which is
and
like
Wukong
I'm
and
sad with the
Graves
leasing thing, but yeah, Diego, yes.
and Graves and yeah, like, there's that, guys. But yeah.
So at least I'm glad Nidalee is not in this area because I think Nidalee would be such a bait pick this tournament.
Yes. I'm just glad Olaf is not here because, if Olaf was here, all we
Let's-
would play is Olaf.
So yeah, like I'm glad Olaf will wait for his time to shine in a couple of patches.
No,
which is fine by me.
Wei is still gonna pull him out. I feel like Wei is still gonna pull him out at one point.
Like the thing that I'm sad is that like maybe I'm stuck in the time chamber and I don't know much things, but I think Udyr is in such a good spot as well.
Yeah, but I think Nocturne might be the interesting jungle pick because we saw it quite a bit during playoffs, but I think he's gonna pop back up again because teams like dive again.
Yeah,
True.
he works really well with Kaisa, so I wouldn't be surprised.
And Vex.
Yeah.
And you can flex Wukong.
I mean,
like if people knew how to like just use the flex correctly, they can just.
I
pick
don't
Wukong,
think anyone
wait,
will play
and then
Wukong
use
top because
yeah, like that's the thing.
Armut is not in this.
There's no one that will play it, but I feel like you have such a nice attempt at flexing
no, I
that
think
it's pretty
there's
obvious with
one
the
person
Wukong,
who
and
play
nobody
it.
will
I
do
think
it.
there's one person who play it. Broken Blade.
Yeah.
Broken Blade.
Good damn it. Yeah, probably will do it.
But I don't think he'd even play it
Broken
because
guys, I've seen Armut play this. I can do it.
like imagine Armut being an MSI right now and this is Wukong meta.
Okay,
He would dumpster everyone.
So I wanted to jump in with one thing because I got stuck with the fact of the leasing, and I actually got stuck with the thing of if leasing was picked or not in every tournament, and he was picked in 2021 MSI, but not in the jungle. Does that count?
Yes.
Because it was in the time when he was the top
yes,
leader.
it does. Because the reason he was so high priority is because teams thought he was going to be flexed, but then everyone started playing top because
He just stuck with top lane, yeah.
Also,
but
solo
that
laners when
tournament
they
he
go
was
to
not.
jungle, they just play Lee Sin.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Yeah.
When they got put into jungle in solo queue, they're like, all right, we're playing Lee Sin, boys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lee Sin is immortal. He's the immortal blind monk. But yeah, that's jungle. Unless you guys have anything to add.
No.
Yeah, okay.
No.
Then
I
we
don't like
have
jungle.
mid lane. Ari obviously is the strongest champion. Well, who would have thought? And then we have the A tiers. And I think I think the rest. I would actually divide them into categories, right? Categories of if Ari is picked and if Ari is not picked, right? Because if Ari is picked, you will see always the opponent mid laners pick either LeBlanc or Vex, right?
Yep. Those
Oh.
are two of the main ones.
Or even Veigar, because I think Veigar might.
Actually, Silas, no. Yeah, Silas, no. Silas is a bad pick against Ari. if I'm
No,
honest.
I think Veigar might pop up, right? Because some might think, Veigar, Cage, interesting.
Yeah. As Froggy knows.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I honestly I'm honestly surprised, like talking about the picks that we're seeing for mid lane, the lack of Akalis. I'm actually super surprised with the lack
No,
of Akalis.
because I think the lack of Akali is because Akali's laning is so bad and everyone else laning is pretty good.
Like I agree with that, but I think that Akali is actually a good champion
No, imagine
against
this,
the likes of
TDS.
Twisted Fate and Silas. So
TDS.
I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah, TDS, just imagine this, right? I'll just put it up there. Just imagine this. If Akali is picked and all of a sudden the opponent team picks Silas, and Silas is outlaning you, that's when you know you have a problem.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that, but I think I'm surprised because these players would think I can outlane him. So that's the kind of thing that I'm surprised with.
Probably Xiaohu
yeah.
and Faker might pull it out at one point.
But even then,
And if not in the mid lane, in the top lane as well, I think
yeah,
Kali
maybe
can
top lane,
find some
maybe top
ideas.
lane that might make sense, but I don't think so. We've gone,
Like I think it's going to be
we've
hard. but
gone
yeah,
too
I think
far into
probably.
deep end. But yeah. I think Akali
Like,
has
that's-
too many
that's
counters in the
surprising
mid
part.
lane because I think
Yeah.
even
Like,
if you
that's
pick,
the nice surprising part, but yeah.
like, imagine picking Akali into Vex.
No, I'm not saying
Well,
like I'm not
obviously,
saying
don't
it's good.
first pick
Yeah,
Akali. Obviously, you
I'm
don't
not saying
fucking first pick
Akali
Akali.
is good. I'm just saying with the players that we have here, it's kind of surprising
Yeah.
to not see it. But
Yeah.
I understand why we're
Yeah.
not seeing it. I'm just surprised.
I
Akali's
think
not
the
first
only player
pickable, right?
who might pick it is probably Bin. Because
In top lane,
because RNG goes with some weird draft where they pick Akali and all of a sudden they flex it.
I think RNG and G2 are the ones that would pull it off.
I don't think G2 would, because G2's got too many picks in their bag to even try to do that.
No,
But
Caps would be like,
I mean,
guys,
in the
we
sense
got
of the
this.
drafting and the team that plays it, I mean, G2 and RNG are the only ones that I could see it, just because they would flex it and they would be willing to try it out.
Yeah.
Like those are the two teams that
Yeah.
I think about, but I don't think that they
Yeah.
probably would pull it off.
But again, let's move on. I think Karma could be mid lane, depending on who's
Yeah,
playing.
Karma
I
could.
think G2 probably. I think the only team I can think of that might put Karma in a solo lane might be G2, because either of the solo lanes can actually carry the game, so they won't have too much of a problem doing that.
I think maybe T1 as well, just because I think
I
Faker
mean,
is
yeah,
willing
sure.
to go
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
karma
yeah, sure.
if there's a chance.
Sure.
So
Sure. And then we have the category of if Ari is not available, if Ari is not picked, which is then we go down the TF Silas Galio route, which is these three champions become high
Move
priority,
around.
and then we have the occasional Synders and Zoes, because there'll always be Synders and Zoes. That's how they work.
I think
Yeah.
Zoe is just like a fit into any type of team comp champion. You know what I
And
mean?
this champion should be deleted. I will stand by it.
okay,
This and Yumi.
aggressive, but
This
okay.
and Yumi. This and Yumi.
Okay, aggressive, but okay. So if and people
Okay.
shouldn't be worried about the lack of
Are you going
Orianas.
to defend Zoe and Yumi?
No, I'm not defending them, but I don't care about them enough to want them to get deleted. I'm fine if they exist. If I'm that like, there's just one champion that I would delete from the game, and that's it. So
Which one?
Is it Yasuo?
no, Soraka. I
Oh.
hate that champion with all my life.
Why?
I want to watch
Miles,
her
do you
burn in
have
hell.
one to share?
That's the thing.
Me?
Yeah.
Any champion I particularly hate? I don't really have one, to be honest. I think maybe Yasuo at most, but like,
I don't think Yasuo's a problem.
I just don't like his shield.
it-
I just don't like his
like-
wind shield, to be honest.
Like the
That's
thing
only
is,
thing I don't like
it's
about
it's
Yasuo.
where like, are we evaluating it with what we think is a problem for the game or what we hate? Because I don't think like I don't
I
find
think
a
what
lot
we
of
think
things
is a
to be
problem for the game, because Zoe clearly is, because she sleeps you for an
I
eon.
honestly don't think. I honestly don't think there's a lot of problems in the game that would be resolved with a champion getting deleted.
I don't think Zoe is
No.
that big of a
No,
problem.
I just
right
think if
now.
you delete Zoe and Yumi, League would just be a better game.
I don't think so. I think that you just get a second like if you delete Jumi and Zoe, you just see the next apparent problem that exists in the game, and that's it.
Sure.
Like it's just a continuous cycle.
Sure, but there's a lot of problems in the game, but I can tolerate them. These two I can't.
Fair enough. I feel like that falls into much more
Yeah.
hate than a
Yeah.
problem for the game.
Yeah,
Wait, in the same
sure.
vein that I hate Soraka and I would rather see her die than be in the game.
Fair enough.
All right. Where
Hey
were
guys,
we
remember
going with
Elise
this?
exists.
Where-
Just
But yeah, but I was going to say if you
Yes,
are
remember
worried
when
about
Elise-
the God damn it. Yeah, like 5 seasons ago.
Remember when Elise was the top priority must
Yes.
pick jungler?
Yankov
Good
is
old
probably
times.
crying about him not being able to play Elise.
No, it's going to come back eventually. With
It's
a rework
been
maybe.
fucking year. Yeah, maybe eventually, but it's
With a
been fucking
rework
years.
maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't expect Elise. I'm
Okay.
fine with Elise. I was just going to say, if you're worried about the lack of Orianas, don't worry. With the changes in 10.10, she's going to come back.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
12.10.
So for 10, she's back in the game.
But yeah, we there we have it for mid lane, because they're very self-explanatory as to why they're picked, so we don't have to complain about it.
Yeah, pretty much.
and then-
just basically any champion.
And
that
then
can roam
we
around
have
the map is
ADCs. We already know how busted Lucian is, and we have Kaisa, who's also really strong, and then Ezreal, who's also really strong. And
good. Basically, ADCs that can be left by themselves are pretty strong.
yeah, and then we have Tristana, which again got a buff, looks pretty good. Then we have the C tier, also known as the tier of ADCs, because we have 5 ADCs actually 6 ADCs in C tier. which is kind of
Yeah, do
mad.
we count Senna or not? Yeah.
Which is mad, by the way.
I think you count Senna. I
Yeah,
think he's
because
Well, the thing is, the funny thing is that I think I haven't seen Caitlyn because I think she's almost always banned.
yes,
who?
So
yes,
so I cannot make a clear assessment. And funnily enough, I've seen her banned almost entirely against the one
yeah,
Wait, who are you talking about?
Caitlyn.
Caitlyn.
Oh, Caitlyn. Yeah.
Like she's
No,
the only champion that I've seen banned much more so than played,
no,
and much more banned so
yeah,
that I can see one that any other
I think
team just
Caitlyn and
wanted.
Karma is actually pretty brutal.
They're
So
probably traumatized by Guma's Caitlyn.
yeah, but yeah,
Wouldn't you be?
but I think Caitlyn with Enchanters is actually really really good. But yeah, I think ADCs make sense given we are seeing the more Ezreal, Kaisa, and Lucian's good, like, period. But Kaisa I think is jumping up because every team is just kind of going more dive centric, and Kaisa just fits into that a lot. So
I also
Yeah.
think that Kaisa is up because the other champions that were there got affected.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
Jinx is out. Like if you look, Jinx is out completely.
yes,
Like Seri is down, Saya is down, Aphelios is down. Those other champions being down, and Lucian is almost always perm banned. So if you were always going to a game with Kaisa,
yeah,
Ezreal,
I think
I
we'll
think
see more
it's
Jin.
your fun with
I
that.
think we'll see more Jin as we've seen because I think
And that's also the
Umberglaive.
reason why I think Kaisa will stay there.
Yeah,
Like because if it's Jin the answer, then I think she's fine.
yeah. I, mean, I think
I'm not.
Umberglaive is just OP, but yeah,
I'm not sure if we'll see Jin just because the AD carry players that we have in the top six.
maybe, yeah.
Well,
Because like, why would you give
Kuma
any of
does
these guys
play
Jin?
Jin, but the thing is Kuma does play Jin, so I think Chimon would be more
Maybe we'll
willing.
see.
Like the
We'll
other
see. But
thing,
there's
you
a
know.
lot of.
I just want to say,
I think there's a lot
oh,
of
sorry.
parity with ADCs. That's why we put a bunch of them in C tier. So, yeah. But
Yeah.
all I'll
Oh,
say,
okay with that.
do not pick Samira. That experiment did not work.
Please, I agree. Please, she's not that good. Like if you
No,
want to pick
I know.
Samira,
I
pick
understand going
anything from
dive.
B.
I understand going dive, right? If you're gonna pick Samira, great. But have a Nocturne in the team, or have a Vex in the team, or have a Camille in the team. Something that can take the pressure off Samira, so that the moment Samira goes in, the opponent team doesn't just annihilate her, right?
I honestly don't even think even if you go dive, you pick Samira because when you look at what is right now in the meta,
Yeah.
a lot of the champions are close range. So like that just goes immediately against everything that Samira wants to do.
Yep.
Because like you're diving onto me, thank you. I want you to come to me, and
Yeah.
you're dead. So I just don't like the Samira overall.
Samira diving into graves.
Yeah, like for the G2 game, when the G2 EG game, one of the things that I love the most was just watching Samira try and think, what the heck am I supposed to do in these fights? Just diving in, and even if she goes over to Nvidia, congrats, you're coming onto a full lethality Graves. What the fuck do you expect to do? Die. That's it. So it just feels so good.
Yeah.
I
Not
also
only
wanted
that,
to say sorry,
yeah.
I just wanted to end it with I hate the fact that teams are just now realizing that Lucian was still good. Like
Yeah.
Lucian didn't change at all in the past months, and there
No,
was
they
a
did.
lot of good opportunities to
They
pick
made
him.
a small buff. I don't know
That's what
which
we call
patch was it that they made a small
It's
buff.
fucking placebo buffs at this
It's
point,
a
right? Just puts it
placebo. Yeah, it's a
to give
placebo
it.
buff that changes. I just
Zach gives those
like that's
buffs
the
to
thing.
make a player notice.
I just hate that so much. The fact that Lucian was still good. Lucian Nami was still a good bot
Yeah.
lane, but nobody plays it because they don't want because they think that it's bad. And then
Yeah.
a buff that is close to meaningless, and now they played it.
Yeah.
It's just so funny to me. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Okay. Moving on.
I like.
Then lastly we have supports. We have all the supports in A tier.
I mean, Sport's just a good role right now, and then
And Pike.
And Pike's in C tier, but yeah.
Pike's situational. If you're like really,
I mean, no, but Umberglaive is so good that I can see why.
yeah.
But I think you play the pikes that have been played have been with what is it called
Jin?
the no with
Stana,
the
Stana.
gap closer.
Yeah.
No, with the gap closer
Kaisa.
lethality item.
Kaisa.
No. Pike has been played with the gap closing
Oh, the
lethality
Prowler's
item.
Claw.
Yeah, Prowler's Claw
But
much more
yeah,
so.
Prowler's
No?
Claw is not the problem. It's like Umberglaive is not a key. Is not a
Oh no, yeah. I mean with Pike
yeah.
particularly
Yeah,
much
but
more so than others.
Umberglaive
But
is
yeah,
just broken. So that's what I meant.
as seen with Graves, Engine, and
And
any other
Pike.
item champion that can build it.
Senna.
Senna.
I
It's
mean,
a good challenge. Yeah.
I mean,
We're not-
yeah,
Too bad there are no AD assassins that can build it.
Like the funny thing is that when you watch the A tier and S tier, like Wukong is also a champion that could go Umbral Glaive,
Yeah.
He
and
could,
not a lot of people are doing it. Even
but
though I understand why he could. Like that's the thing. Like you can actually opt into Umbral Glaive with the Wukong and the Viego until a certain point, and then just get rid of it. But those are two champions that can use it, and I think people are not
Yeah.
doing it, which I understand why. But Lee
I
Sin as
think
well, by the way.
I think AD assassins are just very not valued in bro play. Like the AD assassin playstyle,
Yeah,
unless you have like really key opportunities. Like
but
Pike,
I feel like Umbral Glaive is no longer an assassin just item because of the cost. Like it's so cheap
Yeah.
that if you're AD, you can afford it.
Yep.
And it
fair
won't
enough.
impact your gameplay that much.
Fair
Like, for
enough.
example, Saya, I think Saya could have been a recipient of that until a certain point.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Case, for example, as well. Just adding to
You
that.
got
But
you
yeah.
got anything else there? Or are
Nope.
we good
I
for?
was I was going to mention also, I'm glad that we're seeing once again the Gragas getting into the mix of supports because I like the flex potential that it
I
provides.
love Gragas, to be honest. Whenever I see Gragas in pro play,
He
it's always
is
so fun to watch.
the fat man. And he's very
He's
good.
just
Batman.
he has so much playmaking
Yeah.
potential. Like it's fun to watch a
Okay.
good Gragas
Okay.
player play.
Now let's move on from the tier list and let's talk about the MSI format because that's been a rage.
It's shit.
Yeah. I mean, it is. It is.
it's it's bad.
bad.
I
It's not-
can't
it's not
I
good
can't
format.
even deny it anymore.
Like I remember we when I joined the call, the first thing that you asked me was if I enjoyed or watched the MSI, and in all honesty, I'd rather sleep because it's three. I have to watch it at 2 or 3 a.m. for me, and like apart from watching T1, I'd rather like I don't care about much about the other matchups.
Yeah.
I knew RNG, T1, and G2 are going to get completely scot free out of this space. I thought maybe G2 would EG would do something fun, but no, it was worthless. So I'd rather like if it was as expected, I'd rather just go to sleep. There was nothing that I cannot watch on replays that should merit staying up for that. At
Yeah.
least for me.
Like, what is the point of watching group stages?
Yeah. I mean,
Like, to be honest,
for me at least, what they should do, right, is that
Yeah.
they should revert the MSI format back to the 2019s, where all the playing teams are in the group stage and the rumble stage is like.
Or-
I would say the pool one teams go straight to the rumble stage. You have
Yep.
let's say we have all the minor region teams and the and LCS, right? We have all the teams including LCS will have a total of
I
nine,
think it's okay.
right? And then we'll have 3 groups of 3. The top team of each group goes up, right? In the
Makes sense.
in the event, one of the teams misses out, right? Then you do 2 groups of 4,
Or
right? The top teams of each group goes up, and then just like worlds play-ins, what happens
you
is
make a playoffs.
no, you make a playoffs where the second team of Group A plays the third team of Group B, and then they have the best of 5s, and then there's a last best of 5 where the 2 winners play, and then whoever wins goes up to the Rumble stage, and then we kick off there. I think that'd be the best approach. Even then,
I agree. That one is actually
yeah,
fun.
even then,
you-
if you don't want to do that, right?
Here's a question for you guys. Here's a question for you
Go
guys.
on.
Would you guys be okay with an A and B stream?
What?
Yeah.
An
Yeah.
A and B stream.
So
is
two
Like
streams.
two games happening at
Two
the same
streams.
time.
I think it would be fine, but Riot will never do it
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the thing. Because that's
because they
I
do
would-
not
I think we have to.
they do not
think
have
we have
enough
to
viewership
separate-
to do this.
I would
I think we have to separate what we want from what Ryan wants.
Yes.
Because that's going to be a thing that will never reach an agreement. Because I don't think Riot ever wants to just get a good tournament. They want to get a tournament that that you view, and like a good tournament is not necessarily a tournament that everyone wants to see.
Yes.
Like
I
that's
think
simply not necessarily the case.
because I think if it were me, I would just go Swiss groups into feeding into a double elimination.
I got you, right? I got you. But I think the real reason they wanted to put the Rumble stage is because they wanted more best of one. So this feels like an invitational. It's like an event where teams are just playing each other and just feeling out what the other regions can do, right? It's like a test to build up at Worlds. That's the whole perspective. Like, because
Yeah, that's the idea.
yeah, that's
It's a
the
bad
idea
idea,
of
but
it.
it's the idea.
Fucking almost
think
every
they-
minor region is flunking this test. Like,
No,
that's
and-
the
Exactly.
problem.
It's a bad idea, but it's an idea.
No, it's
the idea.
I think it's poorly implemented, and which is why I think if you just shift the pool 1 teams into the Rumble stage directly, you see that the group stage of MSI becomes instantly better, without a shadow of doubt.
I think you just add play-ins to MSI, right? If you want to go.
Yeah,
with
it's
the
just
play-in one.
you make the group stage as play-ins. It's just play-ins.
So that idea I think works out in the like for the overall idea that it's MSI. I think it works out. If it was on my case, I would simply scrap MSI and I wouldn't do it with just the winners. I would bring more teams because I think that it just doesn't make sense that for the 2 events of the year you have one event that is comprised of 1 team per region.
No, I think that
and
makes
they
complete
play
sense.
2v0.
I think that makes
Yeah.
complete
I
sense.
I don't think it makes sense because in reality, when you think about it, like when you think about the formats and how it's played, then that would mean that MSI is more prestigious than Worlds
That
because
no,
it's the winners
yeah,
alone.
And
That would mean that it's more
and
prestigious. And that
here's
doesn't
what I'm
make
going to
sense.
tell you. This is by design.
Yeah,
it's-
like it's a bad design.
No,
It's a bad design.
no. The reason they put it by design is because there's many teams across each region that just simply don't care about spring. And I will bet you there's many teams like this.
Yeah, but and that's a that's the main thing that I find as a problem because if that's the case, like that would be the same. Like at least to me, that would be the same as if you're playing for the World Cup, but you have another tournament that you can qualify if you win the Copa America. Like nobody gives a fuck about winning the Copa America if you go to a tournament if that means that you cannot go to Worlds 10.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't matter.
No, but MSI
That's
doesn't.
my problem with it.
MSI doesn't matter for Worlds in terms of qualifications. What they tried to do with MSI was they tried to make it so closed, is so that teams who actually give an effort to win their splits actually make it to MSI instead of just inviting the whole lot. You know what I mean?
Like, but I don't think you need to invite everyone. Like, you just need to if you open it up to 2 teams per region, you can do this. The champion gets a bye to the main stage, and then you play a play-in BU1 whatever with the rest of the teams. Like, you don't need to actually just put the best
problem
ones.
is it
You
would
put the
take
best
two-
ones
yeah.
up, and then the rest.
Yeah.
And that would make a better experience because it does what I think it does is it gives a chance to minor regions to at least prove that they are not because when you compare 2 champions, it doesn't make sense. You're trying to compare champions to champions from major regions, and that doesn't make sense. First of all, you cannot compare RNG to Order or to Red Canids. Like, how in any word does that make sense? I think you have to compare Red Canids to someone like BLG.
But I'll put it this in
Like,
this
that's
perspective,
the
right?
kind of thing, and that's why I think it's bad.
We talk about the viewership perspective, and that's everyone is right
I'm
that
not talking about the viewership.
it looks awful, right?
I'm not talking about the viewership.
No,
I'm talking about competitive.
I know.
Yeah, but even from
Competition-wise.
viewership standpoint, it's a shit format.
Yeah,
because
it is.
Yeah.
But when you talk to the teams from these lower region teams, they'll all say this is good for us. They'll all say it. And
I mean,
that's a thing that I think we should take out as well, and it's taking too much into account what the players say, because players are humans, and sadly humans most of the time don't know what the fuck they want. They say that this is what they want, but just take into account everything that has happened till now with international tournaments. How much has this actually helped minor region teams? I think 2 regions have benefited. That's it.
Yeah, but
it has not helped at all.
Yeah, but I'll have a counterpoint for you when you said about 2 teams from each region.
Like,
I have the counterpoint.
Let me
No, I don't mean from each region.
Let me put it this way with what TDS is saying. The players don't know better because this is all they fucking get.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is all
Exactly.
they get.
But
It's
I
like
have
they've
a
been living in a
counterpoint for
desert all
this.
their life, and Riot gives them a bottle of water. and
The-
like, all right, be thankful you get this bottle of
Yeah.
water, you fuck.
No,
That doesn't. Yeah, like I don't think that's justifiable.
when you say
in any way.
two teams, two
I
teams from
want to
each-
clarify on that because it's not 2 teams per every region. It's 2 teams for major regions and regions that deserve it, and the minor regions play like they
Yeah.
bring the one team.
And I have a
Because I
counterpoint
don't
for
think that it's
this.
fair to. I don't think it's fair to
Yeah.
qualify. Like
And
I'm
I
saying,
have a
just to finish.
counterpoint for this.
It's fair to qualify that.
I have a counterpoint for this. I don't think it changes. I don't
think
think
it changes either.
I don't think a
I don't think it changes either.
single I don't think a single iota changes if you just bring the second team from each major region to play against the minor region teams. I think the same
don't
thing
think it
happens.
changes.
Each of these teams go up
It's a-
6-0.
It's that's
no,
the thing.
it's not
I
that-
don't
it's
think
not that
I don't.
way.
Yeah, it's not about changing for the minor regions. It's making the tournament entertaining. Like I don't care. Like this may sound harsh, but I don't honestly care at all what happens to my. I don't care about my region. I honestly don't even care if they go 0-10 because they are not what I am watching this tournament for.
Yeah, I understand.
I'm watching it for the very
yeah,
thing,
I
and
understand.
that's why I
but-
think.
but
Yeah,
that-
that's why I say I'm
yeah.
not saying it for a viewer's perspective. I'm saying it for the competitive perspective.
but-
I want to watch better teams,
Yeah.
not the bad teams. So in that
but
sense,
again-
I don't care about the minor
Yeah,
regions
but
teams.
again, what I'll
That's
say is
that's mine.
What I'll say is Riot will never do this.
Exactly. That's why I say
So-
you cannot.
so, yeah.
That's why I say you cannot do. You cannot take a format for what Riot wants to what the rest wants because
which
Riot will
is
not
why
agree.
what I suggested is probably the best compromise we can come up with. They just reverted back and then let the minor region
Honestly,
teams.
the best compromise they do is take away BO1s because that doesn't make sense at all. But
The reason
that's the best compromise.
the reason they won't take away BO1s is because they want more games between each team.
According
In best of ones.
according also to Jat and Mark, Riot doesn't want broadcast days to be longer than like
Yes.
a set
They
amount
do
of time.
realize that they can do the same if they just do a 1 round robin BO3 per match.
Yeah,
That's
but
it.
they don't want that.
It will take the same. It will take the same time if they do that.
Yeah, but
They're
that
just simply too dumb to do it.
Yeah, but that is less games, and you see the same thing over because the problem will be, and we have to acknowledge this. If you tune in into T1 versus Team A's in a best of 3, and you see the first game T1 dumpstering A's, no one's watching the second game. That's a problem.
So I bring that argument up in major regions. So if T1 dumpsters, let's say the 8 team KT, would you still not watch the second game?
No.
You
People
watch
don't
it.
still watch.
Because-
People don't
yeah,
still
you
watch
watch
it.
it.
But
You can, you, like,
but LCK
I
and
can
LPL.
assure you that they still watch it the second
Yeah,
one.
but the LCK and the LPL are to a point where they don't get anything out of the stream numbers. What is their money coming from?
Sponsorship.
No, but,
Exactly.
like I don't go against it. Like that's what I mean. I don't go against it. The logic that Riot brings up doesn't stands up
Yeah.
because nobody's watching anyway. So if that's the case, why does it matter? Like nobody's watching.
The reason they want the international tournaments is not to attract the viewership of the major regions. The real
It's to attract.
they are trying to attract
then
the
they are
viewership
doing- then they
of
are
the
doing an awful
minor
job.
regions.
They
That's
are
their
doing an
whole
awful job
perspective.
because this is the problem. I'm from Colombia, so that means that I know the timings for a lot of the minor regions, or at least for the minor region that is closest to me, Brazil, and that's one of the biggest ones. Guess what my timing for the tournament is? 3 a.m. I can assure you that I think Brazil is 2 or 3 hours behind me. So that means that it's ahead of me. So that means that it's either at 5 a.m. for them or 6 a.m. I can assure you, it's not good for them either. They are doing a stupid job if that's the case.
Yeah, no.
It's awful, and Brazil is one of the biggest ones.
No, what you're talking about is that is because of geolocation. That is not a format thing. That is not.
No, exactly. What I'm trying to say, if that's the case, then they are doing a bad job anyway.
Yeah, we're not considering geolocation. What we
have to consider it. We have to consider it because but we're talking about, like, even though we're talking about the format, we're talking about if what Riot values is views. But if they value views, that goes now to the overall aspect of MSI, then we have to consider the geolocation because that is dumb decision.
But if you're considering Brazil, which is on the other side of the planet, compared to Korea.
But it's one of the thing is it's the biggest market for minor
No,
regions.
no,
Like
I got
I think
it.
Brazil
No,
is
no, no,
over
I
everyone
got
else.
it. But if you're in Korea and you have rented the stadium for X, for time X to time
Yeah,
X,
then
time X to time
yeah.
Y, and you are in Korea, which is also directly opposite to Brazil.
To America,
Yeah, there is no time zone that you can fit it.
Exactly. Yeah, but
But
this
that's
is where I
some.
come
But
from.
yeah,
It's not about the Korea thing. It's about the fact that if their attempt is that for minor regions, they are doing an awful
yeah,
job. First
no,
of
no,
all, setting it in
but
Korea
they can't do
because
anything.
that is
Yeah,
dumb.
but they can't do anything about. They can't do anything about Brazil. But if you look at the other games, for
They
especially for
can.
Australia, right? For order games will
Yeah.
always held between 1 to 6, 1 to 4,
Yeah.
barring the one day where this all Group C
Order.
games, all C games,
Yeah.
right? The reason that is because the time that it starts is actually 6 p.m. The first slot is
Australia.
at 6 p.m. and it can go 7 and then downwards to 12 a.m. or 1 a.m. You see,
Yeah.
they're actually accommodating for every other minor region except for Brazil because they can't. It's
No,
not
yeah,
possible.
like I agree with that. Like that's the thing. Like I understand the thing that you're saying with the minor regions because they are if the idea in that regard is to try and make the viewership for the minor regions or to attract the viewership from the minor regions, then it makes sense how they accommodate. The overall problem that I find is that they are doing it badly
Yeah.
because the biggest minor region is Brazil. If you're not actually if the idea is to bring the minor region focus and you're not bringing your biggest minor region, it's like not doing it for China. Like that would be stupid.
Yeah,
It's stupid in the sense.
honestly, what I'm going to say is that's why whenever like we're going to have this conversation when we talk about worlds in NA, right? Because
Yeah.
they'll have a situation where OCE fans cannot watch OCE games, and it's going to be legit. It's going to be a legit
Yeah.
problem, right? And
Yeah.
this is something that because they are hosting at different geolocations that they have to live with, and I think Riot just lives with that.
And it's a problem. It's a problem for all every
No,
esport because
it's a problem for every minor region. Obviously, one or two minor regions will have to take the hit. It's nothing they can do
no,
about it.
but not even minor regions alone. Because if we're talking about the any tournament, like for China, for example, it would be early in the morning, right? If they're trying to
Yeah.
accommodate, it would be early morning to noon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is what I'm assuming. So it affects China as
and
well
then what
in
they'll
that
do
regard.
is they'll
Like
have the
it's-
games really early. I know this for a fact.
Yeah, no, so exactly. They are going to accommodate to a certain degree, but it still affects
Yeah,
China to a certain degree because
yeah,
of
but
how it
there's
works out.
but
What I'm
again,
trying to say
that's
is
something
that
that they
it's
can
a
do.
problem for. No, yeah. What I'm trying to say, it's a problem that affects not even LoL alone. It's a problem that affects every tournament in every
Yeah.
sport ever. Like that's a thing that you
Yeah.
have to live with.
Yeah,
I don't disagree
yeah,
with that.
the-
What I disagree is making it your most important focus because you cannot
Yeah.
make everyone happy.
but-
That means that you need to take your priorities straight.
Yeah, my
And
thing.
if that's the case,
yeah,
you
my
cannot
thing
accommodate
is
for minor
my
regions.
thing is the reason why they cannot invite more major region teams is because once they start doing that, they'll see that it doesn't make a change into what was happening already, and then all of a sudden you're just looking at the same story all over again. People are like, this is not good enough. Change it again. Riot tries to change it again, and they can't until it gets to
So
a
the
point.
thing is, yeah, the
until
thing
it
is,
gets to
I
a
think
point.
Yeah,
Riot,
but-
No.
Yeah,
is
but
that
Slayer,
that's
it
the
gets better.
problem.
It just gets
Yeah,
better.
like no, but maybe it doesn't get better. But the problem is that for what we have with Riot, for what we can work with what Riot wants, what right? Like this is this is the better solution to try and make things interesting
Yeah.
because they are not going to go for double elimination. They are not going to try and make it a better format for the tournament with more games because they don't want to, and they
We
seem
don't
to
know
not
about,
want to
no,
copy
I
other
don't know.
styles.
I don't think we know about the double elimination yet because they might still have double
Yeah, like
elimination worlds.
it's not yet, but let's say for argument's sake, because we don't have any information that contradicts
Yeah.
that either, right?
Yeah.
So we don't know that if it's going to be or not to be or not
Yeah.
be. But so right now we don't have it.
I
Even
think-
if they don't bring it for
Yeah.
what Riot wants, I think that it's not going to change until they realize
Yeah.
that their mindset is wrong and they change.
Yeah.
That's a problem. that I find overall.
I think the only thing they need to change is make the group stages into just a minor region plus LCS. Just make it that, and you'll see a lot of the complaints just go out of the window. You know why?
Because I think that the main complaints come from many people. No.
Huh? No,
I think
no,
I think that the main complaints come from many people. No.
their main complaints is they don't want to see the 6 zeros, right? And I think what happens is, even if you invite the second teams from the major regions, you still see the 6 zeros. So that changes nothing. But if you take,
I think it depends, but yeah.
I don't believe for a single second that any team from the second major regions, like, let's say, I will explain with this. I'll give an example with this split, like this previous split, right? If it was RNG and TS, I think TS does the same 6-0 in that same group. Not a difference. If it's Genji is the same 3-0 in that group, 6-0 in that group.
Undoubtedly.
If it was Fnatic or Rogue, it's Rogue, right? Rogue does the exact 6-0 in that 8-0 in that group. Not a difference.
I think
don't.
what I think should happen is just that the minor regions play against each other to be worthy to fight against the
exactly.
major regions.
That's what the Slayers commented.
No, that's what I'm saying. If you take the Pool 1 teams up to the Rumble stage, and just leave the play-in like the group stages with just the minor region teams plus LCS, right? Everything fixes itself.
It doesn't fix itself, but it's better. It doesn't fix itself, but it's better. It's 100% better than
it's 100% better.
100% better.
No, it's 100% better, and people stop complaining about it. Because people will start complaining about it.
Better than
people will start complaining about it because they will see better. They'll see more close games than they would have previously.
Yeah, it's not necessarily better games, but you can see much more situations where you get Saigon Jokers versus DFM.
They're at least entertaining.
Exactly. You see much more Saigon versus DFM case games than T1 versus Ace games.
Yeah.
And that's one of the issues that gets resolved.
It's more like you don't see the T1 Ace games. You just eliminate them from your brain.
Exactly. Well, not necessarily, because like there's still going to be teams like Saigon, Buffalo that are closer to tier 1 than to the rest. So it happens, but the amount of those that you see is way less.
Yeah. But even if Saigon went 4-2, right? The 2 losses are from T1.
DFM. T1.
If you exclude T1 entirely from the group, so Saigon went 4-0, but that 4-0 was not entirely dominant.
It was. They struggled
like,
for that.
They had to play against DFM.
They could have lost one against DFM.
They had to play against DFM. So that's what I mean, right? Especially if you take RNG out of Group B, right? The group ends up as 3-3. 2-1, 1-3.
Yeah.
A lot closer.
Yeah, no, it's a lot closer. I don't disagree. I don't disagree with your format, because I think that for what we have, it's way better than what we have.
Yeah, because it serves the purpose of giving the minor region teams the platform, and at the same time giving them an opportunity to go up and play against the big boys.
Yeah. For what Riot wants and what they are trying to achieve, I think that fits better.
And I think that's what you go for. But I think the reason they didn't go for it is because we have seen for 2 consecutive years or 2 consecutive MSIs, one team has missed out.
Yeah.
And they don't want to run their old format because a team is missing out. Which is
I think we may get it.
Which is stupid. I'm just going to call it out.
I think for next year, though, maybe they come back. Like they go back for next year, because first of all, the complaints are already there, so I can assure you that they need to make a change.
Or even I've seen some of these. Just make it a double elimination. Just make it an elimination bracket.
Honestly, I saw the idea of the TI like format, and I think that would be better as well. Just 2 groups of the amount of teams that there are. You eliminate the last 2, and you separate them between upper bracket and lower bracket, and that would be much better to see.
No, I mean, sure.
In my opinion,
sure, but I think why they're not trying to do is because they value best of ones in terms of.
No, you can still do best of ones for the group
stages. Which is dumb, but yeah.
But think about it this way: how many? don't you think people will just line up to watch T1 and RNG in a few days' time?
For the Rumble stage, yeah.
Yes, exactly. This is why they want best of ones.
Especially with all the controversy. Yes.
Yeah, they definitely no. It's not just a controversy.
No. Especially because.
Because now all of a sudden the fans that regularly follow LoL Esports will try to watch the top all the matches in the Rumble stage because they're like, okay, this is going to be good because you see.
It's depending. I think, because just like with what we have in the previous group stage, if T1, if whoever goes against PSG, let's say RNG or T1, dumpsters like destroys PSG, I'm pretty sure PSG doesn't get a second chance and people don't watch those games.
Yeah, of course. Like that will always happen. But I think I think PSG might be the odd one out because I think everyone will watch EG games because, well, NA fans.
The only NA team.
NA fans. And then everyone will watch VCS because VCS has a lot of fans. So
yeah,
VCS and honestly, BCS has the best games. Like in all honesty, the best games come from BCS, not from T1.
Yeah, because their style is very fun to watch, right? So in my
as an entertainment product, BCS is the best.
Yeah. In my opinion, right, Riot should just change that to just make the minor region teams fight it out to go to the Rumble stage and just play against the big boys. I think that will make the tournament a whole lot better, and you'll see a lot less complaints.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Like for what Riot would want and what they apply, I agree. Your idea is better. I like what I want to see doesn't comply with Riot, so I don't expect it to see almost ever because worlds exist and that's going to be the case. But I think that like at one point we need to.
I think I have a bit more hope on Riot making a bit of a change at Worlds, right?
Like I hope that's the case.
No, I have a bit of hope.
Two international tournaments, what we get is so big. That's why what the change that I would like for MSI, but like when I say to bring the two Cs from the region, the change doesn't like in all honesty and I say this, I don't care about what minor region thinks, and I'm from a minor region. I honestly don't give don't give anything for that. Exactly. So I don't give anything about the minor regions. What I want to see is more international competition because we get 2 tournaments a year that are that it's not like Worlds is good to see, but it's once a year that we see enough teams. And I would just like to see more BO5s between T1 and RNG, TES against Rogue. Maybe I want to see the Genji. What would have been done against some of these teams? And I think that's what I would like to see. That's why I meant with the 2 teams. But the format that you provide is better.
Honestly, I've seen those comments about making MSI into a World Cup. I'm like, that's not going to fly because that's not Riot's job.
So the idea of the World Cup, that's something that I didn't understand. Is it that like making it for countries?
Yes,
or
countries.
Like bring it more teams?
Countries.
Yeah, it doesn't make.
It won't work because the Olympics does that already, or the ACA games, or the
if there's ever a World Cup
Asian
for
games.
League. If ever there's a World Cup in League, it would be like once every 4 years.
Or it'd be like in the Olympics.
It'll
be in the Olympics.
People don't understand that the World Cup aspect. First of all, it comes from the
Football.
fact that it's a tournament that takes a long time to see.
Yes.
So the aspect of entertainment, it's because it's a once in a 4-year time.
Yeah.
It makes it more exciting.
Yeah.
Then you also have to consider that there's a way vast majority of players that you can select from for your country.
Yeah.
Like apart from Korea and China, think about the countries that could play here. Denmark is one. Germany maybe.
Germany can. Yeah. France for sure.
France can.
Spain
maybe, yeah.
England
and Canada and US.
England.
There's not many.
Brazil.
There's not
Brazil.
many
There's not a lot of options. Like there's no chance to see a qualifier, so you have to handpick the teams.
Yeah, I think given what the format is, just make that single change, and then we will see things improve and people stop complaining.
No, 100%. Your format is much better than like what Riot's doing.
I don't understand.
Like, don't just throw major regions into top teams. Just saying.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense.
I think it makes it more competitive. Like we can see that what the play-in has done for Worlds, right? The play-in is actually fun to watch.
Yeah,
Oh
and
yes,
that's
yes.
what and it's just, and if, when you see it, like that's why I mean that's why I also want to see more team. Like I want them to go against against major regions, but it doesn't make sense to send them against the champions, the
Yes.
teams that are clearly superior to everyone. When we
I'd
saw
rather
when
see
they were
LNG.
against
Yeah, I'd
that,
rather
like
see
remember,
LNG
yeah,
finish.
remember when we saw against LGT, like
Yeah.
the LGT wasn't necessarily a bad
Yeah.
team, but
Let,
they weren't that good either, so they
yeah,
can
yeah,
compete. It
but
was
it's the
fun.
fourth team, right? You go down to the fourth team and you realize,
Exactly. Like that's the thing. I think we need to put minor regions against what should be expected of them.
yeah,
Going against the champions is not expected. It doesn't make
yeah,
sense at all.
yeah,
Going against the fifth, sixth, fourth team makes much more sense
yeah.
because that's around the level that I expect from a champion from the minor region. It's just logic, I think, at that point.
Yeah. So put play-ins in MSI. Riot, please get on that.
Yeah, yeah. You guys have anything to
Get
add
better.
regarding MSI?
Not much. I'm excited to see group stage. I'm so excited to see the Rumble stage now.
Yep. Okay.
Now that
Mm, I also wanted to put a final like a final thing that has to go with the overall thing of MSI, not the fact that like not controversial or anything like that, but I see the point of the how this tournament is going to always be with an asterisk
Yes.
because of what is happening with the MS and all of that shit. And in all honesty, I to everyone that thinks like that, I have to say like that's not something that will happen. Because if history has told me something in every sport is that doesn't matter what happens, people will remember just whoever won.
Yes.
That's it. They don't the context is meaningful for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
After that, everyone will remember who won.
Yeah.
So like the asterisk will not happen.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for everyone that thinks that's the case.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
That's it.
That is for that. And now at the end, as we said, we're going to talk about
roster changes.
some rumor roster changes,
News?
obviously.
Woo.
I think we can only really talk about the Western stuff right now until like more Eastern news.
I
Well, we
mean,
have one new.
I mean,
Oh, I mean, I guess technically Eastern news because
new left.
we yeah, and
Uh,
also
Damn, that
TSM
is a.
may be. Oh wait, sorry. A
Junja is
European
also
team.
free, so I think Junja will get a new team again.
Yeah. Also, a European team may end up getting Bo.
Who?
I think that's like that to me. I
Who?
hope that
Bo.
Bo.
Oh, okay. We'll talk about
It's
that. But
Vitality
but I want to
Academy,
talk
no?
about one thing, like in terms of the fact that Maple has left to
Yeah.
TSM. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So can
Retirement team.
the
so
flashful retirement home is just TSM.
so
I guess.
if TSM can get ninth, I think they did a good job.
Yes.
That's my expectation of
No.
this team because eh,
Yeah.
I don't have anything more from that.
Yeah, but coming back, we've already talked about the fact that we've had a few coaching changes. For example, Nongshim has changed their own whole coaching staff. Because
Yeah.
because
I think
because they had to, because they were playing horrible. Gotta admit.
yeah. It was Coco, right? I think.
Huh?
It's Coco that it's now there, right?
Yes.
Coco.
Irene is their head
Yeah,
coach.
Coco.
Irene is their head coach. Coco also added as the
Strategical?
coach. Yeah.
Shit, Coco's a name I haven't
Okay, okay.
heard in a long, long time. God damn, I didn't
Yeah.
realize he was coach now.
So
Like he
and then
finishes
we've
military
already
and went
heard
to
of
coaching.
Nagari coming back, right?
Yeah,
And,
we talked about that last week.
Yeah, we talked about that
time
last week.
there.
Hanwha Life has added
Ready?
some coaches, so yeah.
I mean, that's
But they still have Kesman.
I think Kesman's fine. For
I
for
think
for
they need
for,
to get
for
a thing of
developing
that.
players, I think he's fine. For developing players.
The problem is
Right.
that I think that if Hanwha, like just to add to it, I think if Hanwha wants to make the jump, they need to get another coach because
Yeah.
so far, like the problem is that it's not that it's bad, it's that it's
Yeah.
not working
Okay.
out in the
Yeah.
intended way.
Also,
And if that's the
I
case, they
think
need to get a
I
better.
think Sandbox signed back Prince, so Prince is back.
Yeah, Prince is back on Sandbox.
Well,
all right.
I mean,
Is that all the Eastern news we're getting?
yeah, because there's no
Um,
more Eastern news.
Yeah, unless Summit comes back to Osakino.
I have a hot take that I want to throw out.
All right.
Weibo should sign Junja.
So yeah,
That's not very. I think that's a pretty good take, honestly.
No, but the fact that we are even considering, replacing SOFM, like it's like,
That's sacrilege or what?
yeah, like people would call me for sacrilege, but I
Wait,
I
think
mean,
really?
I think
I
that's
mean, the problem
interesting.
right now. I think the problem right now for Weibo is that if SOFM does not play well, they're fucked.
Yeah, I think they should get Junja.
Yep.
Get Junja.
At least get a sub, right, to light the fire under
Yeah,
SOFM's
yeah,
ass.
yeah, yeah. Okay,
At
now,
least makes
yeah,
something because if not,
now,
I can
now
see Weibo
let's
failing
now
to reach
let's do
Worlds.
NA before we talk about EU, right?
Okay.
Woo!
So we already talked about.
Cloud9.
No, we already talked. I mean, yeah, we already speculated that was going to happen, but it already got confirmed.
Jensen to Cloud9.
Jensen to Cloud9, Fudge going back top lane,
Summit
Spend
out.
support.
and this Ven support.
Vent support, yeah. So
That was interesting.
So I'm expecting Cloud9 to become a
Yeah.
bot lane focus team.
Also, Immortal is going to have a bunch of changes
Yep.
because Immortals just let go of their bot lane and their
Yeah,
jungler.
they're bringing back what was it called? The support guy from Play with Power Evil. I
Ignar.
forgot his name. Ignar, yeah, that one.
Ignar.
Oh, they're signing Power of Evil again.
Yeah, I think they stick
According
with Power
according to
Evil
the
and
LoL
they
fandom, their bot laner right now is Arrow.
Oh yeah, Arrow's there, right? Arrow's still there. They liked what Arrow was giving them, so maybe they stick with Arrow. But
You know what Arrow was doing in the amateur in NA
but
amateur?
but there's rumors that Lost might come back. Lost might be signed by Immortals.
Those was
Okay.
in GGA, right? In GGA.
Yeah,
In
Golden.
I
Golden
believe
Guardians,
so.
yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
No, he was in Golden Guardians, the main team, not GGA.
Yeah, no, not GGA, GG. I
Yeah.
got sidetracked,
Yeah.
but yeah, GG.
Yeah.
Okay.
What did they get as a jungler though? That's the question.
I think they are bringing up Chad Jungle
Okay, I see.
or
Who?
Chad.
Okay.
I'm not sure. He's an NA
I mean,
jungler that was
it
on.
makes sense. Just develop. You're not gonna make anywhere. So yeah.
The thing is that he's a good the thing is that is an actually good jungler to keep your eyes up because if I'm not wrong, he was 6 months ago he wasn't on any PG
Yeah.
team. Then he got into PG, won PG, got into Immortals Academy, and played with the main team.
Yeah.
So he, as a development player and as a player to keep your eyes on, he's probably one of the better ones.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm curious to see who they keep as support. TSM.
For TSM?
Yeah.
Mia, I know they didn't. No, they
No,
have
I think they're
did
keeping
they
Shen
let go
Yi.
of Shenji?
I think they're keeping Shen Yi.
Are
Yeah,
they?
because
Yeah.
what was it called? The other one, the PCS one.
Yeah. I think they're keeping Shen Yi.
Your son is no longer active, so I think they're keeping Shenji. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
And
they're
Mia is
keeping
on the
Shen
academy.
Yi, and then they're probably going to develop Mia in the academy, and then see what works, right?
Yeah, I think
The
that's the idea.
TSM roster is just
I mean, they now have Huni, Speaker, Maple, Tactical, and Shen Yi.
They
That's
brought-
total
they brought-
Chinese. That's total Asian.
Oh, okay. So the thing is, I think that this is a placeholder roster.
Yes.
Because I think that I think they have
I think
essentially
no,
done
I
any
think
expectation
no.
to reaching Worlds
Yeah,
this year.
I think they signed a lot of players to academy. Like for example, they got Mia.
Yeah.
They got a new top laner as well.
They got Anime Girl in the top lane.
Yeah, Xmithy is not their head coach, by the way, in
was on the
academy.
team.
Xmithy is not
Yeah,
their
so
head coach in academy.
So yeah, I feel like the roster that they did this year, like for this split, is a placeholder so that because they have thrown any expectation to going to Worlds, and they are just waiting for next year to start over.
But again,
that's how I see it. Yeah.
But again, that's not. But
I mean,
yeah,
yeah. All right.
we'll have to
Any
see.
other
Now we
things
go
you
to
got?
the spicy ones.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay,
You got
spicy ones. So we have to talk about Astralis' new roster first. So we have Vizjachi in the
shit.
top lane, Xerxes in jungle. We still have Dayor in mid lane, and then we have support is going to be Kobe and Junghoon. Junghoon was
Yeah, he's a new one. I haven't seen him.
no, Junghoon was basically in Brion Challenger. He was
Okay.
he was behind none other than I forgot Brion's support name.
I'm curious why they decided to bring in Jong
No,
Hoon instead
because
of like picking someone from the
based
era.
on what Chronicler said, apparently he's
Yeah.
really good.
Okay, guys, crap. All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
Apparently he's
I
really
I
think
good,
don't I
and
don't have a lot of
yeah,
I think Search is a
of
good
I think
upgrade.
taking a
working
flyer
out.
at him for in terms of Astralis makes sense. Take him, right?
He's probably cheap, like really cheap as well.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I
the
think
line was a support for free to bring
my
out.
main problem is who's going to be the main carry of this team.
I think they're going to revolve more around the fact that they're going to revolve more around Dayor and Kobe, because I think Kobe and Promiscu had some moments. I think Promiscu did play well, and then Kobe could pop off, and then but there was a clear disconnect between Zanzara and Dayor, and they just thought, okay, we've seen enough of Zanzara.
Okay, yeah. I mean, Xerxes is an upgrade definitely. Vizachi instead of White Knight is a question mark to me.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he wanted to come back and they wanted to give him a shot because they don't have a top lane prospect in the midst. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like out of all the players in like Astralis,
Yeah.
White Knight was not the problem.
Okay. Okay. Now,
Totally.
now moving on. Let's talk about the fact that I didn't get your opinion on this. So basically the rumor is that Razork is out of Fnatic and they're probably going to bring up Maxi.
I have no idea who that one is.
Maxi
Who
is
he
their academy jungler.
from Fnatic
I
in the
told
Spanish division.
Yeah.
I told Slayer that out of all the players in Fnatic, Razork was the most replaceable.
Yes, but
True.
in
I
in
agree.
my opinion, it was not his fault. I think what they need to change was the fact that they have to understand how to play the game together as opposed to being very solo meta, like solo carry centric. So
It could depend.
the
though.
thing
Maybe
is,
Razork just had different ideas on
Yeah.
how to play.
yeah,
the game
that's the
and
thing.
wasn't
So
vibing.
there's a chance that Razor simply didn't follow what the rest of the team
Yeah.
wanted to do,
No,
and
it's
that's
yeah,
like
it's
kind
just,
of what is going to happen right now with Vitality.
yeah, it's just
So yeah.
it's just sad. I don't know what's gonna happen with Razor. I hope he gets a team in the LEC because
should
he's
go to
definitely
Vitality.
no, he's definitely LEC material.
He should go to Vitality.
Oh.
I think that would fix things up for them.
God damn it! I mean, I was gonna get to Vitality, but I think Razor should stay in the LEC. I definitely think
But-
if you're trying to find a spot for him, there's a bunch of spots. If you're looking,
Yeah, there's a certain French organization possibly.
no, I don't think BDS definitely.
I was talking about Vitality because that's
No, I don't think Vitality will as well because we're gonna talk about Vitality a bit. But I think if you're going to
I
look
was
for
honestly
anywhere,
thinking SK, but okay.
no SK maybe, but I think Razork
Gil-
not.
Gilius is good enough for SK.
No,
think.
I mean Razork
Easy
not
though,
being in an
I'm
LEC team
convinced.
would be a disaster. That's what I think.
It's fine. He can go to an NA Academy team and rock there.
But
Like a lot
but
of
since I
influence.
talked about Razork, like there was actually a rumor floating around at the start that Fnatic was trying to buy Elyoya, but I thought it would never fly because Mad would never sell.
Damn.
And it's
Yeah,
apparent,
there's no chance.
because they signed Niski.
Yep.
I think Elyoya and Niski would be really good.
Yeah, I think Niski is just an instant upgrade. This makes Mad a much better team.
I
That's
agree.
Yep. I
agree.
think sad for Raker, but yeah, I do agree.
No, but I think
I was actually thinking what I'm sad about for Raker is that BDS threw him into the academy team when I think he should be in the starting team.
I think they're just trying to see how he fits. They're
like,
trying to gauge
yeah,
him.
but honestly, like I confidently can say that
Yeah,
I don't understand how Nuclear Indie is over him.
I think
would never
Raker is going to be in the
understand,
LEC next year.
but I hope that's the case because
Yeah.
I just simply don't understand why Nuclear Indie is still there and Raker not. But okay,
Maybe contract wise or
that's
something like that.
maybe
Contract clause, maybe.
Contract wise.
Like at least, like the sad thing is that I think that BDS with Reeker and
Syncroft.
what's his name
Syncroft.
Syncroft would be much better and much more
Listen,
dangerous.
they
than
have
what
to
is Nets
replace
right now.
Adam first.
I just don't think that's going to happen. I feel like Adam has the owner of BDS by the balls at this point. Like it has to be.
Yeah, I think.
No,
It's
I think they're
the
just
Adam
giving
fan
him one
bases
more
too.
split. I think they're giving one more split.
I've seen players disappear for less than what Adam has done.
No, but I think they're giving him one more split to see if he pans out. If he doesn't pan out, they're gonna get rid of him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
All right,
see if
fair
that
enough.
happens.
Okay. Okay.
see.
Now time for to go to the spicy ones because Vitality
Yep,
exists, and rumor has it that Vitality is going to sign Bo and Haru.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am confused as to I like the idea of signing Bo for the future, like Bo
I
as a
agree.
development. Haru,
Honestly,
what?
like, so for starters with Bo, honestly, I don't even think signing for the future. I think that, apart from the fact that he has to learn English, maybe I think Bo is superior to any jungler that has been on Vitality.
No,
Like
I
I will
mean,
straight up say it. Yeah.
sure, based on the few games we saw, I'm sure, but again,
No, like the thing is, yeah, we
Haru.
did see a few like I just want to end up with Bo quickly because I will jump with Haru because I think Haru will be the starter before Bo. So for
No,
Bo,
Haru
I
will
can
be the
assure,
starter.
yeah,
My
like
question is more
for Bo,
different.
like
My question is different.
uh
Haru's not better than Selfmade.
yeah, no, that's true.
I know, but like, is Selfmade the right person, right
Like
fit for the
that,
team?
it's the same angle from Riser in the sense that it's not the fact that he's better or worse. It's the fact, well, he's certainly
But you
worse than
see,
Selmy,
Vitality
but it's
games.
the fact that what
Yeah,
would they want to
yeah,
do?
but the games Vitality won. Who did they win for?
Yeah,
Who did they win on the back of? Selfmade.
Selmy.
Selfmade.
Yeah.
You're removing the one player who's winning you games, and you're not questioning Perks or you're not questioning Alfari. Is that what's going on?
Yes.
So
That's
the thing
exactly what's going
is,
on, Slayer.
yeah, the thing is dependent
I'm sorry, I'm
completely
kind of
on
mad.
how much of that has to do with self-made and how much of that has to do with the rest of the team. Because
I
there's instances that's a thing that happens where yes, the one player looks better than the others and he certainly has a more, but how much of that has to do with him not going with the rest of the
I
team?
think this is something that that Perks and Alfari is pulling one on Selfmade. I think this is Perks and Alfari. I
I
don't
feel
think it's
like I honestly
No, I don't think
think
it's
I honestly
Karzi's.
think it's for I honestly
I
think
don't
it's the
think
four
it's
players.
Karzi or even Labrov because Labrov has no power based on the split he had, and I don't think it's
Wasn't that? Oh, sorry. But I was just going to say, weren't they saying that it's also on the coach? Like the coach didn't
They
like Selfie that
fired the
much.
coach. They have a new head coach now.
Oh, they took that. Okay, yeah, I was thinking because the coach was also talked about in that
Yeah.
regard. But
Yeah,
okay,
they don't have a head coach right now. They're removing coaches left and right.
damn.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, Vitality seems like a dumpster fire so
I
far.
mean the fact is, in my opinion, I think Perks and Alfari pulled one over Selfmade and just basically got him kicked out. That's what I think.
Yep, that seems to be the case in that regard.
And if that's the case, then shame on them.
So I can see Carsey being a part of that as well, but I can totally get
But
behind the fact that it's
Karzi and
mainly Perks and
Selfmade are
Alfari.
actually have been best friends for 4 years. The reason Karzi joined
Okay,
this team
fair
is
enough.
because of Selfmade.
So yeah, so if that's the case, then how are they going to play around this? Unless
No, I'm
no,
pretty
there's
sure
no,
that's
no,
the
no,
reason
no.
he joined this team because Selfmade's here.
Yeah, no. So if that's the case, like if that's the case, there's nothing to save this team because if then Carsey is still on the team and he joined for Selmy, there's nothing to do.
No,
Like
but
they're just going to keep
I
there
just
for
think
no reason.
this is a stupid mistake that they're trying to do. Is I don't see in any universe where Haru is better than Selfmade, and I'm just hoping this team burns and turns into ash.
You know what
It's
that
stupid.
means, guys? You know what that means, guys? Last time, Slayer said this about Rogue, and they ended up top 2. So we know what's gonna happen to Vitality
No,
this time. We know
Rogue,
what's gonna fucking happen to Vitality.
when I said this about Rogue, I had no information about how they were going to perform as a team because they made a bunch of changes, right?
Yeah.
They performed over expectations is because they improved as a team. In what aspect are you saying Vitality is going to turn it around? Is Alfari going to turn into a different player from the player he's been in 6 years?
No.
Exactly.
That's the point. Perks and Alpari are not gonna change, but they're gonna change the jungler.
Yeah.
The problem is,
Which
as you
means that
said,
they can probably play better with that jungle. In the sense that the jungle maybe fits more into their style of play.
Yeah, but I
And
don't
that's
think
the
they're
kind
going to
of
be
thing.
any better because I think Matt got much better.
but I feel like
Yeah.
I think
Haru,
SK
I
given
don't know
time
about
is going to
Haru.
get better. SK is going to
No,
get
here's the
better.
thing.
Excel
thing,
is
I
going
get-
to get better. It's
All
a
right, Slayer.
Really? Will they?
I think that Vitality. This is Vitality's logic that they'd rather have Alfari and Perks over Self-Made, which is fine. Okay, the org can decide that. Fine.
Yeah.
But my problem is who they change Self-Made with.
Yes, that's my problem
Because
too. They're
Yeah.
not
So the thing is
upgrading.
that
It's not
that
like they're getting Razork instead of they're getting Razork instead of Selfmade. They're getting Haru.
but that's the thing with me. That's the thing with me here. So I understand, like for self-made for Haru, I don't like that. But that's what I wanted to bring Bo up, because if the only thing Bo needs is English, and it's not even that, I think with Bo, which I expect to be the best jungler
Yeah,
in the EU if he plays,
yeah,
even comparable to
but
Jankos,
don't you
I
think?
think that team is better.
Yeah,
Is way
yeah,
better.
but don't you think
Straight up.
given you're going to you're going to getting Haru and Bo, right? Given that, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you rather take Razork, see if he pans out for a split, and if he does pan out, just sell him?
maybe it's also that Vital Resort was
That's
still in
just
the
good business.
negotiations.
No, that's just
Yeah.
good
Maybe
business.
No, maybe
But
also in the Berserk was also just in negotiating phase with Fnatic and wasn't available yet. So Vitality's like, all right, we're gonna get Haru now. You know?
No, Razork is literally out. There's no aspect of it he
Yeah, but
remains
this
with the
could have
team.
been arranged way before Berserk was confirmed out. You don't know
because
that.
like we remember when because Bo was hinted to leave 1 month ago by Domi, didn't he?
Yeah.
Or close to that time. Domi was hinting
To a
that.
Western team, yeah.
So the thing is here that, like, to the thing with Razork. Thing is, I don't think that Bo is for later than this split. I think Bo is going to be played this split. The thing is when, and I think it's going to be in the halfway point. So they want a jungler that can potentially get them the wins in the start against the lower teams, and then play Bo. I think that's the idea,
And I'm pretty sure
because
they didn't know Berserk was available yet.
potentially that
I'm
could be the case as
I'm
well.
pretty
But I
sure
think
because
like
otherwise
yeah, because but I don't think even with Razork, because I don't think that Bo is for next year. I think that they want to play him as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And as soon as possible we'll put, and that's why I think Haru came in as a band-aid for when that as soon as possible is. That's why I think they took Haru.
I feel like there are different band-aids that are better than Haru. You know what I
But
mean?
the thing is, they don't need a better band-aid. Like, we also need to consider the value. Like, we don't need a better band-aid, we need a band-aid that works, and Haru is probably cheaper than Razork.
That's probably true also.
So like, when I think it from the point of view from Vitality, if I take a band-aid that is cheaper and that can work out to a certain degree, because I still think that Vitality should win against the lower teams. So if it's from that idea, and then you bring in the jungler that you really want to play with, which I think it's Bo,
Yeah.
and just put them there as soon as possible when he can play, I think that that's the idea that
Yeah.
Vitality is playing. Because, like I'm saying, I expect that with Bo, they have the best, potentially second best jungler in EU.
Yeah. Okay.
Also Slayer, just in case you don't know, but like Vitality spent really big on their CSGO
Yes,
roster.
they did.
So
I mean, yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with signing Haru. I think they could have just stuck to self-made and see if that worked,
okay.
and then swapped in Bo in the middle if they felt self-made wasn't
that's the idea, yeah.
performing. But getting Haru makes no sense because they're not gonna find anyone for self-made, so he's just gonna sit there. Like,
wouldn't you rather have a CRL
I don't
jungler?
like how some of the EU teams handle themselves.
Is Selfmade still on the team?
Yes.
Yeah, he is still on the team. He's just benched.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
then-
like how some of the EU teams handle themselves.
But is there now thinking about it from the self-made perspective, or not self-made perspective, but from the aside with self-made, which team would take self-made now?
No one.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like, I don't think self-made will get a team now.
Yeah, but
from now on, unless it's maybe an A.
No, but I think
Because, let's be honest,
I
then it
think
would
if
be
you
more
go
winning
next
than that.
year, some team might take him next year. But this
Would
year,
they?
this
Because
split,
wasn't this his last, like one of his last chances that like people were saying? Because
No.
he's essentially tagged as toxic and a bad teammate, and now with this,
they're
like,
just
it just
straight
seems like
no,
there could be the
they're
chance.
just replacing him for some reason. But I think Selfmade will find a team next year.
In the same vein that he was replaced from Fnatic.
No, but Fnatic Fnatic replaced him because he never fit with Fnatic.
and that could be the case here as well.
No, but if let's say if
Like
you're
that's the thing. If we
no
cannot just put the tag of him not working out here because the other teammates, but then say that in Fnatic he never fit. Like
Yeah.
that could be the case here as
Yeah.
well. Like the thing that I'm saying is that Selfmade now will be like Selfmade. It's essentially taking a tag that is he hasn't worked out in two teams with superstars.
no, but think about
Maybe
it.
not because of himself, but in that
Yeah,
regard,
but
I
think
can
about it
see
this
why
way.
why it would be.
But think about it this way, right? If Gilius doesn't pan out, right? Don't
Yeah.
you think they just go and get self-made?
Wouldn't they go
could.
for Ricework instead?
They could also,
But Fnatic would have a high price tag on him. Self-made would be free.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Selfmade is still
problem
is
is
on
if they
contract,
get
right? So
Razork is that you need a carry for SK, right?
Yeah. And don't you think Astralis would go for someone if Xerxes doesn't pan out?
Maybe.
Astralis for
I mean, they don't have they can't afford
would
shit.
they
So
would
I
they
don't know.
spend? Yeah, would they spend for Selfmade?
They can't afford
That's
shit.
the
So I
thing.
don't know. That's the problem. Selfmade would have to be released from Vitality if Astralis want to consider that.
Yeah.
Self-made's contract runs out. The
24, no?
sad part is he signed a new contract with the team.
Yeah, 24.
And they're doing this. Like it's this
Would
is
they put him on the big team on Vitality Academy B?
I don't
Whatever
think
it's
he'll
called.
play.
I mean, what if his contract has a clause where if he gets benched, he can look for other opportunities?
I don't know, but the thing is, they just re-signed him during the spring split. It is madness to have this kind of treatment for a team. That you are going to do this, and all of a sudden you're getting two replacements for him, and you have no replacement lined up for him.
So, I would say I wouldn't call that treatment. I would say this what is called mismanagement of the team. Because if you're going to do this, you never sign up. Like you need to planify better. I always take it as this for sports teams and professional teams. Don't expect like separate treating players with loyalty or anything like that. Don't think that because it's a business at the end of the day. But it's a really bad management from Vitality to do that. Because you spend on a player that you're not going to play. That is just dumb management.
Yeah,
That's
and I think if they try to play him in Vitality Academy, he'll just say, "Nope, I'm not gonna play."
In which case, he must have something in his contract to play against it, or he can just try and force a termination.
I mean, what's the worst they can do? They can probably slander him and then probably take his money, and then he'll like, okay, sure.
Or he can force a termination, and that's going to be the money.
Guys, it's a French company. He can just go on strike. It'll be fine.
No, I'm just trying to go on strike. But it's like they can rescind his money and be like, okay, I'll just stream.
True.
It's like he doesn't. I think he has enough of personality to say I'm not going to do it.
True.
And they have to just deal with it. And I feel sure
until his contract runs out.
Yeah. Because
which is 2 more years because bad management is signing a player that you are not going to play for 2 more years.
Yeah,
kind of like Barcelona.
They're losing money on that. But I thought they're losing money on that too because they have to
like
pay
Barcelona, great management, but yeah,
they have to still pay him. So
yeah.
Yep.
This just sucks.
Right,
that's it.
Is that all we got?
Yeah.
Is that all we got?
That's all we got.
Yeah,
right.
I think that's it.
All right, so thank you guys, everyone, for coming to watch us here on the Plebcast. My name is Miles David, and joining me, of course, was Slayer and TDS. We'll probably be back before playoffs.
Yes.
Or after playoffs.
Before playoffs, obviously.
Before. After? Okay.
Before
playoffs.
Come on.
Before playoffs, so we can talk about the matches. Even if that's the only thing we're going to talk about, it's fine.
Yeah.
It might just be a bit of a because we have a lot of shit to talk about.
I mean, there won't. I mean, to be honest, there won't be a lot of break even after MSI because the splits start real quick.
Yeah.
Great way of preparing things, right?
Yep. So yeah, we'll see you guys then.
We have no breaks, only content.
It's great.
We'll probably see you guys next week. Until then, take care, and yeah, we'll see you all very soon. Goodbye.